No, but listen to, did you hear the press conference of Seleke Kromah, the IG? He did say that this is a highly political case, did he not? So you don't take the partisans' word for it, you take the IG's word for it.
We elect on 85 irresponsible men what happened to our country. We elect on 85 irresponsible men to govern this country, not to be very irresponsible.
Please place your left hand on the Bible being held by your wife, and you will kindly raise your right hand, sir, and repeat after me. All standing, please. I, Joseph Newman Boyka Sr.
No secret now that your friend and former boss will be a candidate in 2029. With all of that you experience, all of that you know, and everything that you see unfolding in the country now, will you support him? Will you be part of the process? Will you give him the support? Do you think he can be a better president?
So why you want to bring political money in it now?
Oh, but you political you're political man, before you go out, very active.
I plead the fifth again.
Okay. When 2029 come and pass, then you finally leave. Mission is completed. Now, what the rules of engagement? When the war ended, the guy said, the captain, the commander said, mission complete. There wounded out first. All men on board.
So, this riot situation when it comes to country, because many times you notice that.
Translator is the problem. He will be out of here in the twinkle of an eye. And I say, let well-meaning Liberians come home. If we respect this constitution, a government formed in Accra is a violation of Article 1 of the Constitution. Let them come home. Let that government be formed in Monrovia.
On the Boyka's administration, we want to give the government of Liberia an ultimatum of 72 hours to provide a living body of the chairman of the Student Unification Party, or else there will be a catastrophic pneumonia in the Republic of Liberia. To arrest the chairman of the Student Unification Party, only because the government feel intimidated about the Vanguard Party advocacies.
The government got capital road, small, B road, all kinds of place. I think the reason Joseph Baga will not do much because the old man, the papa is suffering. The papa loves the country, but he can't make it. The criminal there around him, they sophisticated than him. They are sophisticated criminals, so they can't make it.
Yes, sophisticated criminals. Wherever you are, we are coming for you because we are more sophisticated than you. Some of you were unemployed a few months ago, a few years ago. You looked emaciated, you look hungry, your skin tone, your haircut, everything about you said that you were absolutely poor. You were hungry. Today, you find yourself to be this big shot. Some of you were even considered criminals in this country and you were deported. When the people you went to lead are bleeding, they are dying from poverty, and your government asks you, your president asks you to please cut your salaries. You sit over there and the Liberian Senate opposed salary reduction. In the Senate, they are willing and threatening to fight tooth and nail if anybody touches. These are men and women that were abjectly poor. You come from places like Bapoli where you were selling meat in the forest. You came to advocate for the poor, for the women. And I, Jerome Gayman, was at the front advocating for this woman or for these women on behalf of these women. Some of you came in the Senate at the back, on the backs of the poor. And today you are standing, you have dug in, and you say you will fight tooth and nail if your salary is reduced. And in the lower house, you have some guy who absolutely was a failure in these United States. His name is DJ Blue Benson. He threatened anybody who threatens his salary. He will inflict Goa on anyone who threatened to take his salary. This is a man who was playing music around town a few years ago. DJ Bernard Blue, now he has become an elite in the Republic of Liberia. He's no longer DJ for the people. If you touch his fat salary, he threatened Goa. Before I go to that, let me come to the West. And I don't know whether I should call this a monologue or a soliloquy. But our today's political world is e pluribus unum. It's a de facto motto for the United States. It's a Latin word. And it says, out of many, one. It is so important to the foundation of this nation that it is written on their seal, symbolizing the creation of one nation from many colonies and diverse people. The concept that we celebrate today unifies and signifies unity from diversity, a core ideal of these United States. It means out of many, one. This was proposed in 1776 by John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Jefferson for the Great Seal of the United States. Those of you who have studied symbolism, this represents the 13 colonies uniting into one nation and later diverse peoples forming a single citizenry. Whether you were Christian, whether you were Buddhist, whether you were Muslim, whether you were atheist, it meant absolutely nothing. You have now laid down all of those monikers and you have come together as one. You were no longer atheist, you were no longer Buddhist, you were no longer Christian, you were no longer Muslim. You are now one to leave behind all of your beliefs and focus on one belief system. One nation. Obviously, I am a Bassa man who believes in the Methodist Episcopal doctrine. But when I went to the U.S. Embassy and chose to come to this country, I left behind my Bassa-ness. I left behind my Bassa traditional beliefs. And I joined this marriage, this union with other believers and non-believers to form one unit to serve man and womankind, to serve humanity, to help build this nation to what it is, and to leave it, to bequeath a better nation onto the next generation. I never came to these United States to turn these United States into a Bassa land, for them to speak Bassa and believe in everything that is Bassa. That is the antithesis of what this is all about. I said this to say a friend of mine sent me an email or a text. He said that I'm he believes or observed that I'm anti-Muslim because I have spoken extensively about the fraud in Minnesota, specifically trending news in the Somalis community. And my retort is, you might be crazy. This Bassa man came to these United States to be an American citizen, to come and help build this nation to what it is, to make it better. I believe in the founding fathers of this land, that out of many comes one. E pluribus unum. It is a Latin word, says many out of many come one. So if you left Liberia, you left Nigeria, you left the Middle East, you left everywhere because you like this concept. Why now should we give you special privilege? Some are stopping traffic and praying, they're putting their mat in the middle of Times Square, in the middle of the streets. Inconveniencing everybody else and saying it is the freedom of religion. But where your freedom begins or where your ends is where my belief and everything else begins. And to be honest, those who practice such behavior, I don't believe they are Muslims. They are extremists. Muslims that I know are peaceful people who want to compete just like everybody else. They want the same thing for their children. They want their children to be highly educated. They want them to be scientists, doctors, lawyers, presidents. You will not intimidate me to back down on what I believe in, that when I'm in these United States, I am not a Bassa man. I do not practice my Bassa tradition on anybody. I do that in the privacy of my home. When I want to go to church, I go to church because I believe in the separation of church and state, or separation of religion and government. When I'm hiring anybody on my job here, I tell them there can be no religious practices on my site. You don't know what religion I belong to, and I don't want to know what religion you belong to. We meet here, you do your work, you go home, you get paid. So for the gentleman that sent me that long email or text, who says he thinks I'm anti-Muslim because I am speaking against the fraud and corruption in Minnesota. My friend, I feel sorry for you. You are intellectually lazy. If you wanted to practice what you are practicing, why did you leave where you were to come here? You came here just like I came here to make our lives better. We ran from persecution. We ran from tyranny. We ran from war. You come to this country, some of you still want to beat your wives. If you beat your wives where you came from, whether it is in Grand Bassa or Lofa or Nima, this is not the place you do this. They will drag you to jail, and they're supposed to do so. And don't tell me it's part of your culture or your religion. With that being said, let me go to the second topic. Let me welcome Johnny. Johnny, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gilmer, and let me appreciate all our viewers and listeners who have joined us, who have always made it a duty to be online and via the radio to listen to the show. We respect you, we honor you. It is because of you this show is being broadcast on Truth FM and Care FM. So thank you, Mr. Gilmer, for coming on this area to get the program started.
Thank you very much. And we're going to go down to what's happening. We're trending in the Republic of Liberia. All we have in common is the Republic of Liberia, and we want to make it better. We have to make it better. We have no choice. If the United States decides that we all should get out of here, you should be preparing yourselves to say, you know what? If you send me home today, Liberia is my home. I am going there and I'm going. I used to sleep on the floor. I used to eat once a day, or I never used to eat. I can go back to that. That's why the seal of the Republic of Liberia, the nation, is worth defending. If you are a critic of corruption in the Republic of Liberia, do not give up. Complete your work by continuing to criticize what is happening. Johnny cannot be a successful president in Liberia, neither can I. When 90% of our budget go to perks and benefits, they call it recurrent expenditure. It doesn't matter who you put in leadership in Liberia. That structure that we have cannot develop our country. This brings me to what happened here today. A friend of mine that supports this administration came out and sent me a press release, a shameful press release today. Very embarrassing. He is intellectually lazy. He said the United States government, the State Department, and Liberia signed a $124 million MOU, first in West Africa. Here goes another MOU. When every foreign aid is leaving the Republic of Liberia, you think an intellectual like he would say, Mr. President, we need to change our game plan from being an aid-dependent nation to an independent nation. How are we dealing with it? Instead, he is celebrating another handout that is an MOU depending on XYZ that is only good for 4 to 5 years. And then what happens after that? It is intellectually lazy. You are as corrupt and dependent. So if you are in government, you are depending on whatsoever is promised here so you can steal. Now, because the United States have promised you $124 million, now you're going to take $124 million out of our budget because you feel the United States is going to replace it. Johnny, welcome to the show. I'm on fire today because Liberia is all that I have.
No, you're right, Mr. Gayman. Even the unborn children of Liberia, they are aware fully that this is the only place they have to play, run around, and do anything they want to do without any repercussion. This is where we have. This is where God destined for us as Liberians. We can go anywhere. We can conquer the whole world, but we always feel good as Liberians once we are back here. So we must all cherish Liberia, and we all dream about having a better Liberia, and we must ensure that our leadership, our governance system, our way of life, everything must be about peace, development, and growth, to the extent that we'll always be proud as a people and will be dignified in the eyes of other people. So with the news about the $124 million MOU agreement being celebrated, it just makes me feel like, when will we say that we as a government have taken ownership of our diamond mines, our gold mines, and when will we say we now have a steel factory in this country that will turn our iron ore in Waragizi, in Bomi, in Bon County, in Nimba, in Grangida into finished product? When will we be saying that our government will be inaugurating a railroad, a commercial rail system that will take us from here to Cote d'Ivoire, to other parts of the world or other parts of Africa, that will be done through our government initiative? But to always celebrate and to hand out from other government. Look, Mr. Gilman, $124 million, if I'm not mistaken, is just the budget of a district public school in the US. If I'm not mistaken, I'm still be corrected.
Excuse me. My school district here with 45,000 students just submitted $1 billion budget for the fiscal year. Billion with a B.
Fine. You see that, right?
$124 million. Can I do anything?
So, Mr. Gayman, that is my point, and that is why I keep saying Liberia do not have a standard. And again, it goes to the very first thing I always told you on the show in the past few months, that because we are the lowest thinking people on the continent, our mindset, our IQ is so low, so we celebrate anything from anywhere without even knowing what we have or what we can do for ourselves. I did a training, Mr. Gayman, and we're learning what they call asset mapping. What is your asset as a person? How can you identify your asset? How can you map your asset? That will become your strength, becomes your reserve, becomes your springboard, right? So have we as a country or as a government done our asset mapping? What do we have as asset in Liberia that we can use as a trump card or we can use as a bargaining situation for ourselves? But because we don't know what we have, we don't know who we are, we celebrate tiny things. I mean, $124 million in what? In 5 years? You can imagine how much of that is, if we give it every year, 124 divided by 5, how much is that? Then a country that sits on gold mine, diamond mines, iron ore mine at the rate, at the value or percentage of 60+% iron content in our ore in Nimba, then we're celebrating $124 million hand out. It just tells me that until we can change our mindset as a people, and that will help us to change the kind of leadership. Because we as a people, if our mindset is advanced, it has high standard, and then we require high standard leadership, then we know who to elect as representatives, as senators, and as president. But until we can be able to understand what we have, who we are, what is our standard of thinking, we will celebrate anything. After I think today, I wonder, I said, but I mean, in 5 years, well, not 5 years, 3 years, our management were around, 103, I mean, about $1.3 million in Liberia. If you kind of do programs in Liberia. You know what I'm saying? You remember during my study time, they had a UC program called FED. They brought in this country $70+ million to support agriculture. You understand? That's nothing. So I mean, yeah, while we are appreciating little amount given to us, we must try to also make ourselves valuable, be dignified in what we do in terms of how we use our little resources we gather. I mean, the NRA is doing well to generate revenue, generate the money for us. But the way we allocate it, the way we use it, is causing us more problem. And that's why you heard from Dr. Monima the other day talking about we need to redirect, rearrange, our whole national budget and our development. All that we keep it as it is. I don't see the government ever providing the kind of services we need. And Mr. Gayman, we too are Liberians. We're so satisfied with anything. If you deserve to have maybe 300 kilometers of road built in a year, and the government builds you 50 kilometers of road, you say, at least this one is here, this one is here. But meanwhile, your actual thing that you deserve, that was required to be done for you in a year, was 300 kilometers of road. But they do 100 kilometers of road for you, or 50 kilometers of road for you, and you say, it's good. Our health system. And Mr. Gayman, you said the other day, a nation that does not have a sound population, a healthy population, which means education and health, that nation is prone to hardship, poverty, and it is in doom. And until we can manage, we can take it serious to ensure that our health facilities in this country, various health posts or various hospitals around the country in the counties, and JFK are up to standard to respond to our medical and health needs, we are still in difficulties in the country, and I think poverty is still taking root in the country. So yeah, to celebrate $124 million from US over 4 years or 5 years, well, we appreciate the US, but I think we have argue or even negotiated in a more interesting way, we have gotten more than that. If we are doing better negotiation, we have gotten more than that. Because if a district in the US, a school district bill can be $1 billion, $1 billion, a school district, $1 billion. Then you're giving Liberia $124 million over 5 years. Over 5 years.
Thank you for reminding me. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we're going to have the great Clarence Moneybar here as our guest. Myean, if you are in the back, please post the photograph and the flyer for Dr. Moneybar. Tomorrow we are going to be talking about leadership. We're going to be talking about the budget. We're going to be talking about his vision. And we're going to be talking about current events in Liberia. Dr. Clarence Moneybar is going to be here tomorrow as our guest. Get ready. We've been talking about it since last week. Finally, he will be here. As we go throughout the show, we are going to be reminding you that you need to tell a friend that Dr. Moneybar is going to be here, one of the brilliant young men that we think the future of Liberia depends on, will be here. Is he a new breed? Is he a new thinker? The question I'm going to be asking him is the same question I asked my countryman, Honorable Brunskin, in 2004, just before the elections in Liberia. I asked him, personally, as the system is set up, will you be willing to address the unitary system in Liberia that have stymied our country this long? What will you do to change the condition and the system that we have, where 80%, 90% of our total budget go to recurring expenditure? No matter how brilliant you are, there is no way that you can develop this country with 20% of its budget, no matter how much it is. The more we raise our budget, the more the guys fatten their pockets and the line items. There is nobody on this planet, no matter how brilliant you are. The system needs to be changed. The way the budget, the system in its present form, where a lawmaker by the name of Bernard Blue Benson tells you, if you mess with my salary, I will literally kill you by sending to you a debilitating disease called Garguah. And in the Senate, you have this headline a few days ago. It says, senators oppose salary reduction in a murmuring sitting, almost coming to blow. This is in the Senate. And in the House, you have Bernard Blue Benson. You see his voodoo masks. In the chamber, threatening his colleagues, if you temper with cutting my salary, I will send you Garguah. We saw the budget this week, last week, the week before we've been discussing the budget, and we all complain about the limited amount in education, in healthcare, sanitation, development. Guess what? Johnny, those that stole the money from those particular line items now are cheering this thing. And I will read. After they stole all this money from health and they put it says here, the government of the Republic of Liberia, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has signed a landmark memorandum of understanding, MOU, with the government of the United States of Liberia, aimed to strengthen Liberia health system, disease surveillance, outbreak response capacity, and frontline health workforce. The MOU was signed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Liberia, Madam Sarah Bachelet-Yanati, and the U.S. State Department Jerry Levin, Under Secretary for Foreign Assistance, Humanitarian Affairs, and Religious Freedom in Washington, D.C. The U.S. State Department now serves as the agency responsible for implementing all foreign assistance, including humanitarian aid and promotion of economic development. And key, it says the 5-year partnership outlines a substantial investment toward improving public health that Liberia failed to do on her own. The outcomes in Liberia and provide a total of $124 million in planned U.S. government support over a 5-year period to support expanded disease surveillance and rapid outbreak response, strengthening national and regional laboratory system, supply chain modernization for medicines and essential health commodities, deployment and upskilling of frontline healthcare workers nationwide, development of integrated digital health information system, and strategic investment in maternal, child, and infectious disease. Can you imagine? This is what our nation should be doing for her citizens.
But Mr. Gayman,
Go ahead.
the thing is, this what you just read, if this amount, as I see it from the way you explain it, I think it's actually directed towards the health sector, and it's in specific health sector, surveillance on disease and surveillance on infectious disease, right? So, in my mind, we should be very much attentive and be proactive in responding to a potential outbreak of some kind of disease or virus. We should be prepared for it. We should prepare ourselves. I am not, like casting negativity on society, on my Liberian society, But I'm just taking through the process of the way it's directed, that we should be ready. There could be a suspicion of some disease outbreak, and so they want to provide support in advance. And so I think from hearing this, my personal advice to me, my family, and everybody else, we need to start taking precaution on saving ourselves from some kind of disease outbreak. That's my opinion. That's my observation on what is just read. And you realize that the $124 million, if you do that by the math of 5 years, that may be anywhere around like 24. I mean, like
$24.5 million a piece.
$4.5 million annually, and that's what we are now able to do annually, to even put that in our budget for JFK, for the Jackson F. Doe Memorial Hospital, and all the county referral hospitals we have across the country. And you do have plenty based on population of regions and communities. And then you do that population distribution on male and female, you do the disaggregate, and you look at the age group, you look at everything, because every age group has different medical need or health need, and every gender also has, the two genders also have different medical and health needs. And I really hope and pray that the Department of Planning and the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning will take these things into consideration while they're preparing for this budget. And I'm also hoping that the legislature will invite experts to go and talk to them about this budget they are reviewing now. Before passing this budget, they should review it in a way that they can reallocate, can reshape the budget as we are suggesting to the government to do, so that we can have maybe 70%, 60% of the money spent on the people of Liberia, then spending that amount on recurring expenditures, and spending that on the 100 and few percent that are in high profile position in government.
Johnny, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you are talking about in the case where they were rational human beings. But these people are what we call in political or in the social sciences, they are rational utilitarians. Politically, they talk about themselves. So they talk about self-preservation is the number one rule of nature. That's what they will tell you. So stealing the money from and making ourselves feel good is better than. Can you imagine? Should you imagine that a foreign country is going to provide money for prenatal care in your country? Isn't it the responsibility of a government to defend its citizens? It's not only through guns, it's through education, through healthcare. If a different country has to come and tell you that you need money to strengthen your maternity rate, your mothers, your children, prenatal care, if somebody has to tell you that, then there's something intrinsically wrong with you, that you are an imbecile. Now, when I get to Liberia, you can arrest me, you can jail me, you can disappear me, you can unlive me, but I will tell you that you are not representing your people, you are representing yourself. But let me go to the next one here.
Mr. Gayman, before going to the next one, you sound like one old man I should work with, old man Joseph Matthew Cheeseman. Did you ever get to come across him, or did you know him?
No.
Oh, he's from Bassa also. He's a Liberian. He was a Liberian journalist, a lawyer. I worked along with him for about 5 or more years. I mean, sometimes when you're speaking, you sound like him to me, and you keep reminding me of him, old man Cheeseman. I mean, he'll be like emphasizing and on those key words when he's speaking to me about issues about Liberia and his experience as an old man, what he went through growing up, to acquire education, and today see himself as a lawyer. So, I mean, you just reminded me of him, Mr. Gayman. By the way, let's go to the next topic.
Yes, it pains me that a country so wealthy is so poor. But let's go to this here. This is something that you may be interested in. UP veteran says workers inner circle treating him as a non-entity. And his name is Sam Monrovia today. Unity Party founding member and chairman emeritus. I think his name is Chelle Noring, Chelle, Noring, Noring. is voicing sharp frustration over what he described as a repeated disrespect and marginalization by individuals close to Joseph Boakai, claiming he has been treated like a non-entity despite decades of sacrifice for the ruling party. During his recent 9-month stay in Liberia, where he met with dismissiveness from those around the president, he said, despite my contribution to the Unity Party, I was treated like an ordinary partisan. Whenever I attempted to meet President Boakai, he said, adding that the senior members who kept the party alive during difficult times are now being sidelined. The current officials of the party appear to have little regard for senior figures who endure difficult times, difficult conditions to keep the party afloat. He added, Noreen said he received no official invitation to the Unity Party December 6 homecoming. As snub, he considered disrespectful, given his role as a founding father of the party. He described the exclusion as a worrying signal that the party no longer valued the sacrifices of its veterans. The Unity Party has not issued a public response to Noreen's assertion. The December 6th event brought together partisans, supporters, and national leaders, and saw new political actors pledge support to the ruling establishment, citing what he described as responsible leadership and developmental gains, they claim. Noreen remarks add to growing internal debates within the party about cohesion, respect, and the role of long-serving members as the UP works to consolidate governance and unity. Noreen also reflects on the political turmoil he endured during the Unity Party chairmanship from 1997 to 2001. His leadership coincided with the rising tension with the Charles Taylor administration, which he says led to his arrest and severe torture orchestrated by the political rivals. Believing he would not survive, Noreen credited his life to a man identified only as Moore for helping him escape and made a dangerous return to Monrovia before ultimately fleeing the country. Today, he says the emotional scars remain, and the silence of the Unity Party regarding his ordeal is persistent reminder of Liberia's turbulent political past. Noreen's political route traced back to his early service as bodyguard to Unity Party founder Dr. Edward Myean Kessley. His close proximity to leadership paved the way for deeper involvement in party operations. He later served as county chair for both Grand Gila and Maryland counties, strengthening grassroots mobilization and expanding the party's reach. He was eventually elected to the national leadership as third national vice chair for operation, a position he held before the rise of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf within the Unity Party hierarchy. His career is built on party loyalty and field experience, honor schools, while he believes senior members like himself deserve respect and recognition from the ruling establishment. Chief, I read this because I have noticed that when these people in America, we say these strong shoulders upon whom the young people stand, once they get up there, they forget where they came from. And these people mean absolutely nothing to them. They have become disposable. Your take on a founding father of the Unity Party?
Yeah, so I will just say one short statement. Short term of that, because when you respect veterans, when you respect past leaders of an organization or an institution, what it does is that it strengthens the organization based on the current leaders. It will embody them, it will increase their commitment, it will increase their loyalty, their selflessness, because they see how you treat those who were there once. So if you don't treat your veterans in a respectful and dignified manner, you do not expect your organization to last or to survive. That is why I respect the Americans, the way they treat their veterans, especially when it comes to servicemen. The veterans are respected, they are treated in a way that the young people who want to join the military or join other services in the army or in the US are always moved to go there because they know that once you serve the military in a dignified way, you will be respected, you will live a good life until even your children will benefit from that. I have friends in the US who have served in the US Army, US military service, and other places. They have retired, they are veterans. Now they are benefiting for what they've done. And because they are benefiting, young people now, the new generation also has interest in going there. So if the Unity Party will not respect its veterans, such as the one you just read about, who, particularly was at the foundation of this party, and I guess he's an older person by this time, he's not a young man, he's an older person. If such person is not respected, is not dignified by the organization, then I wonder where does this organization want to go in the future? Because your future depends on how you treat your past. And your past are those veterans. You see, one reason why you see the student movement and the UL called SOUP always look stronger in Liberian space because they have a veteran program that the veterans are always regarded and respected. No matter what happens, they call you veteran, and that veteran gives you dignity, it gives you respect. You know, so we need to try, not just the Unity Party, let us go out to all organizations, whether it is government, it is organization in the community or whatever. You should learn to dignify your funding fathers and dignify your past leaders, dignify past members of the organization who have aged and are now retired. The more you dignify them and respect them, the more your organization gets stronger and become more sustained.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on, we are doing this is our week of giving. We are asking you to make a pledge or make a donation to making this Christmas, this holiday, great for our workers on the ground, these young men and women that are bringing us the story daily. Cash out the $, TCA 2500, Zelle 678-438-3003. Send us something, $20, $50, $100, $1,000. Whatever you have will make a difference in the lives of these young men and women. We want to make this a tradition that every Christmas, our employees should feel good about themselves and about the agency or organization for which they work. I have made this as the owner of a small business for 26 years in this country. When Christmas comes around, when Thanksgiving comes around, all my employees, instead of spending an extra $30, $40 on turkey, everybody get a free turkey from us. You get pie, you get all of those things that will feed at least 10 people in your home. It is my way of saying thank you for what you have done for me to make me realize my American dream by being a business owner for 26 years in this country. This is a bastard boy that was born in the interior whose mother and father never wore shoes. But God blessed me. And this nation have done for me what no other nation could have done. So giving back in America here, we call it, when I was with the United Way, they call it pay it forward. We do not intend, you should not intend to get anything back in return. But your children and your children's children will benefit from this. It doesn't mean you have so much money that you need to waste it. No. The little you have, if you share it, like the scripture said, if you have done for the least among you, you have done it for me. I know Dr. Peabody, he's the preacher. He's going to come and say, my man, you butchering the scripture. I know this, I'm butchering the scripture, but I know I remember that little piece. So guys and girls, let's do for our young brothers and sisters back home, give them something. This is the time to remember those who are not related to you, but they provide services that you enjoy. Every 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock in Liberia, when you turn your TV on or your app, if you have data, you will see us here. It doesn't matter whether one person is watching, that's enough. For the thousands and thousands of folks who do not have access to data, but they are listening to us on radio, you are doing them a favor. We are bringing authentic news. We are discussing issues that will affect them, like immigration. For those who are applying for visa to leave and come to make a better life, if you get here, what not to do? Our job is to teach you how to navigate this system, this very complex system that is so easy to fall prey to. When you get here, you're like a child in a candy store. You are not accustomed to the privileges and benefits, and you go wilding out. You're all over the place until you get into trouble. By the time you turn around, it's time for deportation. Then you're calling upon Allah or Jesus Christ. It's too late. So our job is to tell you how to come here to make sure that you don't get in trouble. So that's what the TCA does. So help us out, send some money to our young folks. TCA is the cash, the $ TCA 2500. If you are doing Zelle, it's 678-438-3003. We will announce what we have received. I know there's a lot of you who are contributing and don't want your name called, but we just have to be appreciated and for accountability's sake, because sometimes people want to know how much all these things you've been talking, how much you're not raised. So we have to put it there and tell you these are the folks, and this is how much we raised, and the money going to the young folks. So that being said, Doctor, let's go to some good news out of Liberia. It says here, Joanna Coleman George turns 104 today. Can you imagine in the Republic of Liberia where life expectancy is 55, 50, 60? When you look at a 60-year-old person in Liberia, they look so old from stress and hardship. This beautiful lady, look at her. This is her name. Joanna Coleman George. Hopefully, Mr. Tomalin can come. Hopefully, they have some relationship. That tells me he comes from good stock, and hopefully he lives to be 110. So Tomalin or Dr. Peabody, if you know who Joanna Coleman George is, she turned 104 today, and we have to salute her, send her our birthday. There you go. Her name is Joanna Coleman George. She turned 104. Let me read this. It Mrs. Joanna Eva Coleman George turned 104 today.
She is the wife of the late Peter Emma George Sr.
Aha!
She's the wife, of the late Reverend Counselor Peter Emma George, former pastor of President Baptist Church. And yes, she is the Eva, Mother Eva George. I know her very well.
Any relationship to our George here?
I'm not sure, but they're all from Vassar,
I know. I didn't want to pull your leg because I know they're all interrelated, but yes, to some degree they are all related, and we're not doing it because she's from Vassar. Even though I was going to do it anyway, You say I'm prejudiced, I didn't buy some people, all that. Yes, we all that and more. Now you a bag of chips, the whole farm, the whole 10 bag of chips and more. So yes, to live to be 104 is a blessing.
Wow, what a blessing, yeah?
Yeah, it says Mrs. Joanna Eva Coleman Joy, 104 today, sports a red bonnet and a blue flower morning robe as her nurse, Josephine, wheels her into the room at her daughter's Hotel Africa home. 109.
Manje, her daughter name is, she has a daughter named Manje Pratt George.
Okay.
Yeah, I know them.
A hot pink bra cover her long, slender legs, and Josephine Pratt on her feet on a Sage gold pedestal to keep her circulation flowing. Having had her daughter, Mrs. Margie Olivia George Pratt, has called in the Daily Observer for a pre-birthday chat with the post-centenarian. Joanna is excited. Next week, Tuesday, that's today, will be her 104th. She says more than twice. Her shining brown eyes illuminating the slim, remarkable smooth face. On December the 9th, she will turn 104, Monje specified. The family has celebrated Joanna's 100th birthday with a bash at the Ellen Johnson Saline Ministerial Complex in 2021. This year, they want to reflect on the document and the documentary of her story. Because you never know, Monje is solemnly gazing into the inevitable future. Monje acknowledges, though, that getting any story out of her mother will be a challenge. She is hard of hearing now, understanding us only when Josephine translates our question, smiling to her left ear, very close. The years have also faded Joanna's memory. She can recall but a few things. Monje, and we prod her with gentle questions. But one thing is sure, she is proud of her illustrious Liberian heritage. I was a Coleman, she begins. President Coleman's granddaughter. That's how old I am. She's the oldest living granddaughter of William David Coleman and his fifth wife. His fifth wife. But Coleman wasn't a joke. Ophelia Thomas Coleman, says Monje, picking up her thread. Coleman was Liberia's 13th president, serving from 1896 to 1900. Like his predecessor, 10th president, Alfred F. Russell. He was born in Fayette County, Kentucky, in the United States of America. Coleman was several times a widower when he met Ophelia, who had come to Liberia from Arkansas, USA in 1895. The pair were married from 1896 until Ophelia's death in 1898. They had two sons, Joseph Samuel, who died at an early age, and Moses Oliver, their youngest, who became a diplomat in the State Department. When her father, Moses Oliver Coleman, was born, President Coleman was still in office. Monje continued. When her grandmother Ophelia died, President Coleman married Joanna Eva Howard, who raised her father. Her mother was Mary Deborah M.D. Carter. M.D. was the daughter of James David Carter and Cora Wadsworth Carter. Joanna was born 1921 up the river, of St. Paul River, in her mother's native White Plains. Remaining in those rural parts until the age of 8, she attended Sarah Henry School, founded by a professor of the same name, whose family had migrated from Barbados in 1865. Henrys also taught at the White Plains Methodist United Methodist Mission. At the age of 7, Joanna received her first taste of the tragedy that so often struck the Kromah family in 1929. She lost her father, Moses Oliver, at age 31 years old. He left behind Joanna and her siblings, Joseph Samuel Oliver, Ophelia, Claudia A. Coleman Nelson, and Eileen Thomas Moore, and his beloved MD. It would be 27 years before his widow gave her a hand to another in 1956. She bestowed that honor on one Reverend S.R.E. Dixon of the United Methodist Church. So we are talking about history here. I could go on and on and on, but this is for those of you who do not know Liberian history. The Basel man says, and I think it's very similar in other tradition, you apply the new mat on top of the old one. If you do not understand and you do not have a mat, you are guessing. So Liberia has a great history that we have to cherish. Dr. Peabody, if you know these families, you got to make sure that this documentary is done.
Yeah, necessary though.
Yes, just as I've been listening keenly to Johnny when he said, my great-great-grandparents are the founders of Zozo or Benjamin, one of those. Is it Benjamin? I can't hear you.
Yes, Benjamin.
There you go. So these stories have to be told. We shouldn't hear it here. These things should be recorded in the honors of Liberian history, that our children and our children's children will know who we are, where we come from. And when we began the show, Johnny, please mute. I talked about what the United States meant to us. E pluribus unum. Out of many comes one. It is the ideal upon which Liberia was founded. We may have had a rough time, but out of the Bassa people, the Crown people, the Gola people, the Mandingos, the Muslims, and the Christians, we all came together. We fought hard, but we formed a nation. E pluribus unum, out of many comes one. We all came from everywhere else. This history has to be told. It has to be preserved. Johnny, you are now an educated person. You own the right to your story, and it is incumbent upon you that this is documented to form part of our archive. Let me welcome the Honorable, I don't know how to call him because last night he was rooting for the Eagles and something happened.
Is it wickedness? You gotta think about it, Johnny. You see wickedness.
They whipped the eagle again.
Right now, Eagle Nation is still mooning, and this man, he's gonna greet me on set here with bad news. He said he cheered me up. You see what I'm dealing with?
Listen, when you are down, what you do is you pull everybody else down. You see, my Dolphin, we're not winning, so everybody else that win, we win.
1, 2, 3, 4 interceptions. 4, Johnny. And 1 fumble.
In fact, in one play, he fumbled the ball twice. How is that possible? Welcome, Mr. Victor Nagbe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gayman. And again, as Johnny indicated, Dr. Peabody, thank you for always coming in and holding the fort. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Welcome, Dr. Peabody. Welcome, Mr. Johnny in the Bay. And welcome to our audience as well. It is good to be here. It's a pretty cold Tuesday afternoon here, evening. Here in New Jersey on the East Coast. But again, this is the time, this is the season we're in now. You got to layer up, but it's good to be here.
Excellent. We got some great news. We are talking about history here. This lady Joanna Coleman George,
Yes.
the wife of the late Peter Edmund George, great man. Today turns 104.
Yeah. I met the late Peter Edmund George a couple of times. But I also met the junior, Dr. Peabody. What is it, junior? Where is he?
Peter Edmund George Jr., PhD. He was he was this businessman and
yes,
had car rental. You know, his dad was a very famous lawyer in Maria.
He was.
Jr.
That's correct.
He was a pastor.
Yes.
A Pearland Baptist Church, hailed from Basford area, you know.
Yeah.
So I joined you all, and I joined the closing argument in wishing Mrs. George 104 Jesus.
Wow, blessing.
Not many people get to reach 100.
Look at that photo
And
of 104
still
years.
looks so beautiful and so strong.
Wow, God bless her, man.
Yeah, God bless her. God bless
her. You see, when Johnny, when I call Victor and Dr. Peabody to go run, their knee hurting, their ankle hurting, their back hurting. These people are very young. Look at this.
You remember Little Men? Little Men?
Koto. You're missing the Koto. Ask Johnny when you get to Liberia, we'll buy you a whole bunch of Koto.
Yeah.
You can bring it.
And that thing, look, when you put it on, it doesn't begin to react hours and hours. So now you put it in the house, and then when you get in the sun, the heat, the heat begins to make it to expand.
That's correct. And
that's when you really feel the burn.
Yeah.
So when you put it on, you can't sit by the fire. Because...
No, not at all. Johnny, so the history, it is incumbent upon you to make sure that you preserve your own history. We want to know more about your great-grandparents, their struggle. And like we said previously, the young man was saying, Liberia has a terrible history of honoring founders and forefathers of history, where they have suffered for the Unity Party. Now that the new people are in power, they don't want him around. He doesn't look like them. He doesn't sound like them. He doesn't dress like them. So they were having a welcome ceremony, and they never even recognized him. They never even sent him an invite. And the president was there. No money. So the gentleman is saying, how is this possible? A man who served as a bodyguard to Myean Kesali, and he rose to the ranks and ran the party. He was the grassrooter, the recruiter in Grand Gita and Maryland County during those days, how difficult it was. And today they are in power. He spent 9 months in Liberia. They would not allow him to see the president. And they had a welcome ceremony. They didn't even invite him, neither recognize him for who he is. These are people that are so ungrateful. We talk about being ungrateful on this show. We are uncivilized. We are political Neanderthals. We are just one step above cavemen. We are just one step above cavemen. We're just standing on our hind legs. We are uncivilized. We will kill somebody who says something against us. Anyone who has anything antithetical to what we believe in, the only solution we think about is to get rid of you.
Yep.
By any means necessary. Let me welcome Robert Garguah. Robert Garguah, welcome to the show.
Thank you, the Honorable Jerome. Thank you so much, man. I like the suit and I like the tie.
Thank you very much. Hopefully, the people on the other side thinking, hopefully they like the title or they like what I say, but I don't think they will like what I say.
What I was going to say.
Welcome, Robert. He done well because when I met him in Philadelphia. You know, when August when they with me, he was wearing barefoot. He was not wearing shoes.
That's right.
Because he said my had
yeah, because listen, they are still my heroes, so I want to be like them. I didn't wear no shoes.
But not only do I like this suit and the tie, I like your choice of vocabularies. So that's
correct. Thank you.
You're very classy. You're classy intellect. I don't know what kind of glasses you're wearing, Doc, but I like the glasses, man.
Victor.
You know, I tried to use this. My wife said she didn't like it, so I haven't worn for a while.
Oh, I love it. It doesn't look like reading
oh,
glasses.
So you're rebellious. Your wife says she like that. Why are you wearing it? Because
I told her it looked good on me, so I'm wearing it.
Doctor, don't listen to they made a fire, the flamethrower. You see,
I know the wife is okay. Let that plan. Let kind of do. No, you look nice, man. Robert is right. You look good. You look good.
Yeah, those specs are beautiful, actually.
Miss, what's his name? My dear big brother in LRB. You look like Imororo. Everything Imororo, you know you.
But I mean, let me cool like that too. See,
this is not a regular guy.
I mean, I can say, man, let me good.
No, but he tried so hard.
Yeah,
you don't understand. People know. Once you've been to America two, 3 times, and you guys are in a small little car in LRB, you're not a regular man.
The man drive a nice SUV. He was very generous to let us use it at one point in Monrovia. I mean,
oh really?
Yeah.
Johnny.
Well, you know, Johnny, just because of that, I will park my car and I will demand that I use your SUV.
But guess what?
Johnny
is now a Congo man. Because anytime you get job, you move up in status, you automatically Congo man. So Congo man is not a particular person walking around. It's a status thing. You see that girl from way over there somewhere they call River G. Look at her. She's a Congo girl now. Look at her. Look how she look. When she was in River G, she didn't look like that.
Yeah, but Sarah got some money now.
Not small money.
That's why I keep telling you, the Congo and country thing in Liberia. It's not realistic. It's a reflection. It's a reflection of your bank account,
of course,
your level of education,
of course,
and the house you live, the kind of car you drive. I mean,
that's right.
This is the reality.
Listen,
how you act on your former friend, your friends. Then you know.
There you go. Exactly.
Listen, they have some people from up river. They suffer more than some country people, right? and they all get the same blow when you see that the other Congo man, just like all Congo people supposed to be well off, and all country people supposed to be poor. The most of the guys that were making the money, they were country boys. But anyway, let me work on something.
But you know, before we go, I'm all for work today. So you see, I'm joining you guys on my laptop, and I'm making dinner for my wife, some curry chicken rice. I will share it with you guys, but I'm hoping when you guys visit Atlanta, I can invite you guys over the house to come and have some of my recipes. But Johnny, don't be laughing. You know, I have an associate degree in culinary arts. I'm a certified chef.
But they didn't teach you how to cook curry.
Well, we did international. We did international recipe.
I hope food is on our menu.
What is it about the for the job interview? Almost secretary by okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the menu too.
That's right. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Sarah,
thank you so much. Thank you, and hello to all of you on the show, and hello to our followers. We have a lot of things going on today in our country with a lot of different news. I hope we can dive into a lot of them, you know, and speak to our Liberian people, give them our views, our honest views, you know, and move forward. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I see Nora Hawks here. She says she's stuck on the internet in Monrovia. That's good. Welcome. Emmanuel Broad, thank you for tuning in. And then everybody else who will tuning in, if you are on the radio in Nema, Grand Bassa, Riverside, wherever you are, we love you for tuning in. keep turning in. If you have comments,
Jerome,
put it in the comment section. We'll discuss. But Sarah, we got a couple of things to discuss. But what is burning in your chest that you want us to discuss that's not in the news?
But you didn't ask me what burning my chest. I keep it for Sarah. We're gonna do the rest of the agenda.
I know, right?
She's the queen.
But we're all equal yet. We're all equal.
No, you are a panelist. She's a queen.
I will sue the man. We're gonna I keep it for Sarah.
I'm looking for Isaiah. I'm looking for queen. You look pretty like Rob. Go ahead, man.
The man that put Sarah.
Go ahead, Robert. Go ahead.
Affirmative action. Affirmative action.
We got no further action now. Everything been burnt.
Maybe it's the same thing that burning on my chest too. You never know.
That's right. You never know.
Come after you. Go ahead, Sarah.
Go ahead. What's trending?
Well, what's burning on my chest is this notion about the Constitution provide for them to have additional 14 seats. When the current seat we have, the current representation we have, our people can't even benefit much. And then they're talking about adding additional 14 seats because the Constitution calls for it. The Constitution calls for a lot of things that they did not respect. The president did not respect a lot of things that the Constitution called for. So why this one that they gave me so much, attention to? So that's really what's burning on my chest today. And they're running around with this 124 million thing that MOU that they signed with the U.S. government for 5 years, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad news. It's good for our country. But why are they making it look like it's strange? Because the CDC government had 640 million and they condemned all of that. They said it was not good. They criticized it. Now, why is it making it look like this is something new? Our people are just something else,
Sarah,
It's too much.
Sarah, can we just give kudos where kudos belong?
No, we will give kudos, but we'll remind those that did not give kudos yesterday. We'll remind them about the same thing.
Dr. Peabody, where does the kudos belong? Tell me.
I think Sarah done a great job. She had done a great job in getting the U.S. signing that memorandum of understanding for the $170 million. For me, I believe I will give them kudos if they
I do
went
too.
after an arrangement and something good happened. I will raise up in a way. My parents always told me when someone does something good for you, it's always something good. It's always good to show.
She can deliver.
I think that is great. They did something great for Liberia. $120 million memorandum of understanding was signed. And I think for me, I would give kudos for now. I will not begin the comparison until that money had been misused or something like that. But for now, I would give kudos to the government.
I do. I would give her kudos. I think she's doing a great job.
Sarah,
reminding people.
Listen, do not give the Liberia government any kudos for signing another MOU. We should never be signing anything. But before I go there, let me go to Robert Garguah. Robert Garguah, if you give this government credit for another MOU, you are in trouble with me. Go ahead.
Listen, I think I have to be, because I what you see is what you get from me, and I think this is part of the reason why I'm positioning myself to not be belly driven, right? Where I can freely express how I feel without being scared about government funding my lifestyle, right? So I saw the MOU today, and I thought to myself that in as much as I still don't understand what Liberian foreign policy looks like in letter and in practicality, I think that Joseph Boakar's appointments of Ms. Beslow, I think, is perhaps his best appointment. I think she's been the only shining light, in this administration. She's done some good things. Now, the implementation of those things are, we can have a different conversation about that. But I think $124 million MOU over the period of 5 years, that's $24 million annually. The question that I have is, this is not the first time we've signed MOU for health, benefit, and that we still have a very terrible health delivery system in our country. This is my fear. My fear is not that we don't have capable minds to get things done. It's that when those things are done, do they actually benefit? Are they a reflection of the livelihood of the people of Liberia, right? And so when it comes to health, I think it's very concerning. Like I said, my parents are relocating to Liberia. I want to make sure that my mom and dad don't necessarily have to come to the U.S. every 3 months to see their doctors, right? That we can sign them up and have a dependable doctor and health delivery system in Liberia. But right now, as we stand, they will have to come to the U.S. or go to South Africa or other places to get normal medical checkup. And so, is the money being used for the purpose for which it's given? That's a whole different question. We've seen what happened during COVID-19, right? Millions of dollars came in to support the health, the dysfunctional health sector in Liberia, and a buck of that money was stolen with absolute impunity, no accountability whatsoever. But generally, I think Sarah has shown class. I think she's one of those ministers in government that I respect tremendously. And I was having a conversation with her son when I met him the other day. He's not involved in Liberian politics, and we both live in Atlanta together. And we were having these very conversations. I said, I think your mom, you should be proud of what she's done. I don't agree with everything she's done, but I think that she's done some great things. And lastly, when I talk about the implementation, it's not just about the headlines. A few weeks ago, we heard about this diplomatic arrangement with the folks from Serbia. That she had gone out there and made an arrangement for youth and sports, and that somehow there's this foreign coach that would have come to Liberia. And I've been making phone calls and having conversations. How long does it take for this to actually happen? When is the foreign coach going to arrive in Liberia? The AFCON qualifications drawing starts December 19th. So how long is the foreign coach going to come? What are they waiting for? If the sovereign government is sending a foreign coach, what they're going to take care of? The only thing the government of Liberia has to do is to provide accommodation and vehicle. I mean, I can provide accommodation and vehicle. So if I can do that, then why the government of Liberia, why is it taking so long for the foreign coach to come, start, training, start all these conversation, negotiations? So it's the implementation is the issue. But I think she's been one of the face of this government. She's done an amazing job, and I think I have to give her credit for that. But what's burning on my heart is if the excuse from this government or the speaker or the legislature that it's a constitutional requirement to have 14 added seats, right? Then what is the constitutional requirement? What do they say about the constitutional requirement as it relates to freedom of the due process? Because they have not done due process in Liberia. What does it say? You can cherry pick what the constitution requirements are. If you're going to pick the constitutional requirements to buttress a very lazy point, we don't need a bigger government. We need a functioning private sector. The 14 seats that you're adding on the legislature, those guys can go in the private sector and get jobs based on merits. So if you're going to use that as an excuse, what are you doing about the functioning private sector? What are you doing about due process? What are you doing about all the different things? So I think this is what these guys are doing. It's all set up. They're trying to reward most of their friend jobs, and they're trying to have a bigger government when we should be actually reducing the size of government and focusing on a bigger private sector. But it's very unfortunate. Thank you.
Well, let me disagree with you on the foreign ministry thing. As I'm looking through the budget here, money that have been sent to the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Sanitation, it's a pity. for another nation to come to your country and promise to fund your healthcare system, prenatal care. It says a lot about who you are. When you look at the 124 million, they may have expected this to come. So they stole that money from there already, and they have divided among themselves, knowing that something was coming down the line. This is not how we're going to run our country, because this particular funding has a duration. It said within 5 years, this is going to go away. Then what will you do? The American man said, he who plans not plans to fail. If you don't have a plan to take care of your own people, if your own people are not part of your priority for the near future, 5 years, these people got 3 or 4 more years remaining in government, they will be gone. They don't care.
I got a quick question before you end, Mr. Gayman.
Yes.
Don't this the American government monitor the money that comes in? Don't they monitor the money? Don't they follow it?
It doesn't matter. Even if they monitor it, they will be out of here in 5 years. Joseph Boyka will be gone. This administration will be gone, because this thing they say end 2031. Okay? They will be gone. They don't care.
Okay, the CMC will prosecute them.
What are they doing now for the healthcare? The city is dirty. The sanitation is terrible. There's no water. How do you wait for another nation to do what you do? Let me go.
Jerome, I expected to agree with Sarah. Sarah says CMC will prosecute them. What do you say about that?
Yeah, CMC will take a step.
Sarah,
no, I'm talking about Jerome, because he was in front.
But listen, they say dry door sweep, but why you be eating before the door is dry? Until CMC come to power, what would the Liberian people be doing? They will be dying. Look at the city; it's dirty.
The Liberian people will be going to United Party headquarters. That's where the food is.
They play the boy and they go weekend.
So, about a year and a half ago, they came from China with this MOU that Grand Bassa County was going to get $1.3 billion for oil refinery, and we danced, right?
And how far is that?
I don't know what happened to that MOU. They went to China, they brought MOU. They went to South Korea, they brought MOU, and people are dancing. So what? But anyway, let's go to the next one here. It says,
I'm gonna make a number 1 year from him, because he gave me thumbs up. 1 year. What he got to say about that?
It's on Nagbe. This our panelist is saying we should allow the government to steal all our money until you come to power to persecute them. So until you come to power, by the time you come to power, everybody will be dead, because there's no money, medicine, water. Right. So who are you going to lead 2029, 2030?
So let me come in by popular demand from Mr. Dopoh.
Okay.
Look,
breaking news.
Yes, I think this is the opposition solidarity that Sarah and Ahmed were talking about yesterday.
Oh God.
I totally agree with her observation about this attempt. Already the UPs are tagging me. They are now backpedaling. Dylan is asking, where is the vote? Where on this additional 14 seats that they're trying to create in the national legislature? The Constitution gives us a ceiling of 100 seats. We cannot go unless we go for a referendum. So in our lifetime, they're trying to create 87 seats already, leaving at least just 13 for the next 100 years of our children and children's children who will come after us. Why are these people so shameless? It's not like they're doing so much that we're begging for more of them to come and help us out, that they want to create more seats in the House. 73 of them, they do nothing, and they're getting $51 million every year now. But they're not happy. They want more. They want more. They want to add 14 seats. Based on what? Who gave them the right to create seats? It's not within their purview. They're stepping outside the law. But I know the Justice Minister will come and interpret their action again and say, yeah, they're right to do so.
Well, why
the law is very clear. The law is very clear. They can make a stipulation. Yes, right now I think the threshold is 20,000 to create an electoral district. They can then expand that number based on the census, but it is the Elections Commission that is supposed to do the demarcation of electoral district and create seats, not the legislature. Where they're getting the 14C business from? It's not like they're hungry. Money is falling out of their noses, out of their rear ends, out of they're everywhere, but they're not happy. They want more money. And now they're trying to tinker with the Constitution and create more seats and give themselves more chopping.
That's it.
And that's what they're trying to do.
No, well, Mr. Nagbe, let me just come in quickly. This whole thing is...
I'm not letting you
Yeah, no, this whole thing is a complete... I mean, it's entirely wrong. The first thing is, by our Liberian Constitution, we should not even be having electoral districts. It should not be the Election Commission that must determine electoral districts or constituents. By our Constitution, after the census is done, the legislature must pass a threshold bill upon which new constituents may be established.
Correct.
Now, in 2011, when we had the second round of election in 2011, and we had done the census of 2008, that legislature was supposed to pass a threshold bill. They had a continuous argument that they were approaching election. That was how they passed a resolution asking the Election Commission to establish electoral district on the basis of the voter registration result. Technically, locals are not representing the people of their district, they're not representing those above 18. Whereas the Constitution requires that you represent those that are counted by census. So, I mean, constitutionally, even the question argument will even take a lawsuit to Supreme Court to nullify the 73 seats we have right now. Those 73 seats are completely unconstitutional. They were established based on resolution sent 2011, and we've been carrying on this process. So today, for me to hear that this legislature is asking to extend another 14 seats, they are completely. I mean, I'm thinking, where are they thinking from? Which continent are they from?
Right.
The first thing is we must go back to our constitutional provision. Let them pass the threshold bill based on the 2022 census.
Right.
When you pass the threshold bill, then the threshold bill now will be the one that will determine new seats or not.
Correct.
For example, if right now they are not in a hot based on any democratic population, any population based on, they are there based on the voter registration that was done in 2011, and the same thing they keep doing in 2017, the same thing they did in 2023. And we said here, we don't take action, we don't ask the Liberian Supreme Court to act, and the court will not act if we don't act. And I've been the other day, I was in a company of some lawyers. I was asking them, can we file a law to Supreme Court to make sure that we go back to the constitutions that require that we have people based on threshold bill or based on the census result? Because that's why it's requiring the constitution of Liberia. Not my electoral district. So right now, I don't even know the electoral district. In Nepal, we had people in the house based on threshold bill as a result of administrative districts. So that whole idea is completely out of order. I don't know where the idea coming from. I don't know what school they went to. I don't know which of the university or which college they went to come with that kind of idea. I'm so annoyed by that idea. And like in the country will have no mind to think, because the whole thing is wrong, entirely wrong.
I mean, the regime speaker is not reading the Constitution.
Yeah, they're not reading. It's entirely wrong. They're not reading because they don't know what they are doing. They don't know that even if their current seats, their current seat they occupy as electoral district, those seats are not legitimate any longer. They got no legal basis. They got no constitutional basis to exist. I want time to one day, argue and say, I can't respect you because you're not a constitutional representative. And but because we're having drinks, I was joking, but I was serious. You know, I'm serious.
That was liquor talk.
I was serious.
No,
I'm telling you, I was serious. Don't see how legitimate. Well, we can do the research. Look, this is the whole constitution I printed. I got it with me here, right? And this constitution is why I read every day. I read 1 or 2 pages to understand what my law says about the country, and that is entirely wrong. We should have a lawsuit Supreme Court to tell us that these guys should not be existing as representative on the basis of electoral districts. It should be based on the threshold. There's no threshold bill since 1997. No threshold will ever be passed in the country. And that should be the basis for which we should have people elected for the post of representative.
Good. Dr. Peabody.
Yeah.
Let me go to Dr.
I didn't learn, Johnny, and he
Johnny hijack you. Yeah, go ahead, Len.
Yeah, on the point I was making, and I agree with him. I don't think we're talking at different ends. The legislature is supposed to establish the threshold. That is correct on that. And I agree. But they're not the one who's supposed to propose the seats. They're not supposed to do any of that. It is the Elections Commission that is supposed to, we call it here redistricting, but they are supposed to do the appropriation of the seats. So what they're doing right now is absolutely wrong. In addition to what Johnny is saying, what he's talking there, and Robert Nelson has said that to me before, how they came up with the current seats and the limitations that they have. And he's quite right. It's exactly what Johnny said, that they were basically having difficulty agreeing on, the threshold, and they decided just like everything else in Liberia, emergency quick way, and they made a decision to be fixed at a later date. And that later date has come and passed. They haven't fixed that. Now they're going to stand on top of this, and they're going to abrogate onto themselves additional seats, which mean additional budgeting, which mean additional chopping. And the CMC has come up very, very strong. Please go on my page and read the statement, or follow Musa Ability and read the statement. We're calling on this, and apparently this bill has passed. Even though my UPs are telling me, hey, that they're talking to impasse, I know they passed. They're now trying to send it to the Senate for concurrence. And I hope the Senate will reject this. I think Dillon is already questioning the reliance that Musa Ability has to issue the statement that he did. He wants him to show records of the vote that have taken place. That is good. At least it's claiming his attention. Let him pay attention for once and do this and make sure they do it right by the people. We don't need any more additional seats. We're done. If anything, let them expand this. Let them, like Johnny is saying, the treasury right now, the temporary treasury is 20,000. They need to step it up. Let me take it to 250,000. Let them campaign a little bit more before we become representative. But what they're doing is wrong. That's one. Two, Jerome. I read this morning in the front page Africa, and maybe Cyril may have already read this. This violence against our female gender. There's a story coming out of Tottenham Borough area there. I work in that area when I work for the United Nations. And I know that area very well. The whole back of that area, from Peabody, all those places back there, there is no police post there. And the story is that this guy and his wife of 6 children, 39 years old, asked a woman for money. She just gave him birth, not even quite 3 months ago, accusing her of having a boyfriend, and kicked this woman's head against the wall, and she passed. And it took them 24 hours for the cops to ever arrive. When they arrived, the family was calling for autopsy. They hurriedly told them to sign the paper and took the body and buried, and took this guy away. Yes, this story is in it. She goes by Esther. And it is really sad. Yes, I think that's the story there, Jerome.
We don't on the TCA, we don't miss any story. It's
no,
right, we
I trust you for that. I just wanted to highlight that story. I understand these are some of the things I think the money should be going to, as opposed to creating more seating legislation.
I know.
Policing, I can tell you, the whole of Maryland County. We talked to one lawmaker here, I think about a year or so ago. The whole of Maryland County, I think they have only 3 police people, 3 or 4. The whole county.
Wow.
The whole county. And they are stretched thin because they don't have the manpower. They're not paying the people. That's just some of the places where the money is supposed to go. It's not going to creating more seats.
The people don't care about all the things.
Do nothing legislature. But anyway, I've taken enough time before I pass it. Jerome, I came on, you're talking about this gentleman who said he had been denied, even though he did so much to found, the Unity Party. I just wanted to read for you quickly. Their friend, who is the John King of election night, Senator Amara Coney. I like him a lot, but I just think there are times, he misses the mark. Where's my story? Anyway, he wrote on prior to his birthday something he called "What Will Ben Kessley Say?"
I got it here.
And Yeah, they listed a couple of counts. Please read just the first line of count, I think 2 or 3, where he talked about exclusion, and it's a warning, I think, to the party, as exactly speaking to what you just started saying about what this gentleman was saying, that instead of him leaving the Unity Party has actually left him. So if you can find that, if you can, I think I found what I was looking for. So here in in count 2, he gave 5 counts. Count 2, he said, Bien Kessler will also remind his party how exclusion and political marginalization of other fostered bad governance and corruption during his time, widening the inequality gap between political elites, technocrats, residents of slums, ghost towns, and many underprivileged citizens. So he's speaking exactly to what you were talking about, Jerome, about how this party is becoming elitist. Is outgrowing the grassroots who actually were at the foundation of this party, who founded this party. I understand on Saturday, Mo Ali, who was walking by foot, the foot taxi, has acquired such. Yeah, there you go, Jerome. So I was laughing because Mo that is bring. Mo has acquired a vehicle that is untouchable. I think one of the civilians who were in the, one of the UPists who were marching touched the car, and the police move on him. They can't touch a car like that, and they give it to him.
Wow.
Jim and Boris busy typing. I know you probably saw what I'm talking about.
Jim Boris said you are undercover, you wearing Unity Party green, and you come out and talking junk.
It's an off-ego solidarity green, but But I'll pass it to you, Jerome.
Okay.
And I'm sorry about
I know you took all my time, Mr. Nagbe.
Go ahead, Doc.
But as I was saying, look, you don't even have a fitting county.
No.
You're trying to add more there. You see, go to Riverside. Those places are villages. Okay? Go to other parts of Liberia. Those are villages. They shouldn't have even been a county in the first place. I mean, just for you to make money and to have more opportunity to be elected, is that why you guys bring in adding other people? What's the benefits that these people would get from this thing?
Nothing.
You just bringing in people to get more money, all of you make more money and stuff like that. There's no benefit anybody will get from this thing. You guys are already there. You're doing nothing. You guys are just dumb. Nothing you guys are doing. Lay back, wait until the next concession agreement comes. You'll all sign there and get huge sum of money, get $2,000 a month for gas slip. I mean, to drive around Monrovia, who needs $2,000 gas every month to drive from Single to Kingsville or to Red Light? You're not even living. If you're living Kakata or somewhere, even with Kakata, you can have a tank that can carry you for almost 2 or 3 days, a full tank. So why you want to come back? I think it's sad. It's very, very sad. Unfortunately, that was Liberia, and nothing we want to talk about these things, but it's going to pass. The Senate will concur with them. The only person who sometimes put these resistance in the Senate is Senator Dillon. Hate him or like him. Dillon will ask one of the most difficult question, but at the end of the day, when people get to vote, those people don't care. You have somebody who was having a relationship with has a very relationship with somebody, but yet and still you're having confirmation hearing. That person is sitting down in the confirmation hearing, and it's part of the people that asking questions. Do you expect anything like that, or even removing yourself from that committee? You get on it and you part of it. So we will say this, we will say that, but you're talking about a country where the people are very unserious. They only care about themselves. So when you have a country like that, where the majority are very unserious and care about themselves, you can't make no laws. You can't help the people, because at the point we're talking at the beginning, what is the Congo lifestyle? It's not an individual. It's the big cars you drive, the great home that you live in, the money you have, the 2 or 3 girls that you can rent a home for and buy them a car and send them to Ghana or China to shop. That's the Congo lifestyle that all of them want to live now. You know? So the no more go back to these people and say, you know what, I came from this town, I want to do something to help that town. I'm moving to Monrovia now, building a big, huge house in Monrovia. I'm crediting for the Lebanese people. And at the end of the day, if I'm not elected in the next 6 years to come, then I go down and even go to the verge of selling those homes. That's all people are doing. It's all about themselves. It's not about the Liberian people. Then you have a justice minister there too who will interpret the law. Look what happened today. You have the minister of youth and sports who were rated very bad. Instead of he trying to say, you know what, I will improve on this, what the par, that was done to me by Front Page Africa. I will improve on this, try to do something so I can get a better par next time. What did he do? He tried to attack the agency, say they own restaurant, all kind of things like that. So it's just what you see there, trying to destroy other people's business only because he wants to, because they Front Page written him and he tried to link them to other people. And that's why you go after somebody go after you. So the very people who were around couldn't even afford gas. They were all around making other people today. They're riding seeing $60,000, $80,000 cars. And yet still we expect him to change. It's the mentality of the Liberian. So even if you take somebody and put them down from the top, a deputy minister, you go to him, you want to live to seem like it's the mentality. It's all about myself and stealing. That's the mentality of all the Liberians. So it's hard to even fight corruption in a country like that because you put somebody there from the bottom, you're dealing with them. And then you're talking about the law. The law is very weak. In the absence of a credible justice system, you can't do nothing. Because if I take something, the first time my dad ain't punish me, I take the second time he punish me, I'll worry. I'll be afraid to do it again. Hell no. I will continue doing it because I know my dad is weak. He won't do anything to me. And that's what we see in our country today. So.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we are going to have with us Dr. Clarence Moneybar. We're going to be asking the tough questions. If he wants to be president, what are his plans to deal with health, education, and bureaucracy? And I'm going to go to a gentleman who received a deed, actually, in the Front Page Africa rating. His name is Josiah Jokai. I call him the Joker. One of the most incompetent people in the Republic of Liberia that hail on the Lofa. He came to power. He was very hawkish against the CDC. In 2024, the annual report, Director General Jokai said the civil servant workforce was streamlined, reduced from 67,000 employees under George Weah. He had reduced it to 60,900, achieving a reduction in government monthly wage bill from 23.5 million to 21.1 million. By this reduction, the annual wage bill was expected to be 253.2 million. But it turned out the wage bill ended to be 295 million. Interesting though, 2025, the year following, the annual wage bill jumped to 315.6 million. Currently, 2025-26 annual wage bill has rocketed to 329.1 million, plus additional expenditure that in the other category, 25.6 million. And as we look at the 2026-27 million budget, the wage bill has ballooned to $354.6 million. That's not only enough, but they have decided to add another 14. So the wage bill is going to go from 80.9 to almost 95% of the budget. So there will be absolutely nothing. So they will eat and eat and eat. Let me welcome Seleke. Seleke, welcome to the show.
Yeah, greetings, Mr. Gayman, and good to be here on the closing argument. Good to be here. I've been following the back, but I don't know your question You just
no, there was no question. I'm just welcoming you. You come on the show, I welcome you. You not start fight. I didn't even ask you any question. What kind of ANC man? You don't like. You don't let the CMC think. Anytime I call him, I just say hello. He wouldn't even answer me hello. What you want? Where's your question? I didn't ask you. No, I'm just welcoming you.
No, and I say what you want, Mr. Gayman. Why you trying to make it look bad?
You say
I
what?
said I didn't hear your question.
Yeah, what is the question? I said welcome. Then you said that's question.
Yeah, but thank you for welcoming me today, man. Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you very much,
okay,
guys.
Sorry, Mr. Gayman.
No, just kidding. Johnny, you have been. I got to discuss this one because I'm going to come very hard on you on this one. You have been the cultural ambassador on TCA. We have been discussing that while our culture, our traditions are very important, we need to modify, we need to moderate. You have been very strong that because some of us are asking that our culture should be moderated, you think that our Western society lifestyle is diminishing who we are, our traditional. And I'm going to say this. The death of a domestic violence survivor highlights systemic failures in our system. And this one was reported by Front Page Africa today. But prior to that, the police beating of an 8-month pregnant woman sparked protests in Painesville. We are talking about a male-dominated patriarchal society that diminishes the value of women. This man killed a woman. And the headline said the death of a domestic violence survivor highlights the failure. The woman cried out, "I won't make it." A mother of 6 died after years of abuse in a rural community with no police station, no safe home, no emergency service, exposing what experts say are Liberia's deep rural protection problem. It's a gap. Advocate says harmful gender norms, victim blaming, and they believe that men own or can discipline women continue to fuel our domestic violence. With our investment in trained police, shelter, emergency transport, and programs that research socialize boys and men, expert warn Liberia will continue to lose people to domestic violence. Monserrado County, Estelle Fofana World came a week ago, gasping for breath. "I won't make it." The mother of 6 whispered, collapsing in the yard as neighbor Ma Fatu tried to hold her upright. Blood streaming down her nose. Moment earlier, according to her 5-year-old daughter, who witnessed the attack. Esther's husband kicked her so violently that her head struck the wall. Neighbors rushed to help, but it was too late. Esther, a 39-year-old mother of 6, died in Fatu's arm. And then, a week earlier, outrage erupted in Painesville, bustling red light commercial hub on Tuesday, December 3rd, 2025, as local marketeers staged a massive protest demanding justice after a Painesville City Corporation police officer allegedly assaulted an 8-month pregnant street seller during a routine enforcement. The victim, 39-year-old Fatu Kamara, alleged to be an 8-month pregnant woman, was reportedly hit during a tussle with the officer identified as Solomon L. Boykai of the Painesville Police for leading her urgent hospitalization at a JFK medical.
Please insert no relations, please, Jerome. Insert a disclaimer.
Okay, Boykai is a common name, not a president's nephew, no, but it might be his nephew, but not relative, but could be. But what we are seeing here is the continuation of a male-dominated society where the experts are saying Liberia has to recondition the minds of young men who see their fathers and their uncles beating their wives as property, killing them. You kick your wife so hard that she bled internally, and she was bleeding profusely from the nose and the mouth and the ears. It took the police 24 hours to show up. In the heart of Monrovia, red light junction, the police, after meeting a woman asking her to move, she didn't move and began to beat her. A pregnant woman, 8 months old. There she is, wind up on the hospital.
Yeah.
Earlier, we saw a man that killed his wife with cutlass in Bond County. And another one, two killed their wives in Nimba. This is, like they say in Houston, we got problem. Johnny, you have to defend yourself in the court of public opinion here. This was a tough one.
Yeah, so let me get Johnny quick, Mr. Gilman. You know, let's see this from the perspective of a sociologist analyzing society that has several social factors, especially so people borrowing all cultural norms and cultural practices and realizing that that's a way forward to go. Look, let me give you a few examples. There are communities in Liberia that are entirely under the rule of customary systems. You will hardly hear such thing happening there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they don't do wrong things there, but they have a system where they regulate and to ensure there's safety, there's peace, there's security. You will realize that areas where we have this mixture of quote-unquote Western behavior people, where the government is in full control, police is there, and other things, this thing happening at frequent. Monrovia is right Pinsville is where the government is sitting in Monrovia. The government is here, the police is here, the police, everything is here in Monrovia. People are openly disregarding the laws, the system, and doing what they want to do. If you go to as far as, let's say, in Bapuru, Bere Fasama, for example, where there's no police, no court, no central government representation in the kind of justice sector, but they put there are governed by their customary rules and systems. You will hardly find a man beating on a child or a woman or somebody, or even fighting in the town because the regulations that are no of. Listen, listen, Mr. Gilman. Listen, Mr. Gilman.
We're talking about what 2 months ago we saw where the town congregated and converged on a woman because the woman didn't sleep around the zoo bush, and they tied her up and beat her up.
Listen,
and you're talking about,
give me some. Yeah, I'm coming on, Mr. Gilman. I told you, I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying wrong thing do not happen, but they have system in place that will curtail wrong things from happening, right? And know that what I'm saying to you is that there are most communities that are in entire control where there's no police, no court, and we have done that research across the Bureau of Land and Breath. I'm not speaking as an individual. When we're comparing where the state system is present, how people violate the law, and where there's no state presence, where it's only customary system existing, the rate at which crimes occur there. Two different communities. I'm not saying crime does not occur anywhere above it at all. But in the area where there's entirely no police, no court, the rate at which crime occur there is by far less than where you have police and court presence. That's what I'm saying to you. Where you have state function present, where there are remote places in Sando, in Grand Cru, in every county where there is no police, no court. That is why we have been working to ensure that these customary leaders around there understand some of the basic international human rights principles, because there are no police, no court, so that whatever they are doing to provide justice, they go in line with basic human rights principles and standards.
Thank you.
Right? I'm not saying that, but our issue. Okay, now here's the point, right, Mr. Gilman? And I always say to you, honor a clear customary law. Clear customary law, when there's no interference with anybody, then one sort of guy is no man beat a woman. No man. If you violate, They will punish you for that. They're not saying that because you do, and they can't punish you for that. We had a program once here where all the leaders assembled in Banga to discuss the issue of rape. And the chiefs and elders said rape is because you people brought this Western law that got too many rights and implications. If it is left with us in our cultural setting, by our law, if you are found guilty of rape, you are eliminated. That is the old law before even coming of the free slaves or colonial people in Africa. That's the old law that was here in Africa. If you are because rape is considered as a serious offense in the culture and tradition of any part of Africa, for the matter of fact. But today we have a mixture. People are not saying, "Oh, am I right? I will go for evidence. We'll do this and that." Once the people prosecute you, they know you are guilty of the either find you guilty. They finish you. They said that someone where you never be taught about. And in our conference, the women that were there indicated that in fact, if you are found guilty of rape, they should castrate you. And then the UN guys that were there and the government people objected. They said, "No, that was too gruesome to be done if you found guilty of rape." Thank you,
Johnny. I have to disagree. All the cultures, all the tribes, all the culture in Liberia, beating woman is unacceptable. Let me go to Garguah, Charmy.
I mean, but that's what we talked about the other day. Is this one thing to talk about the laws, right? And to talk about the culture, and or what is the expectation of that culture, whatever that is. But it's a different thing to talk about what has been accepted. And where I stand, from my perspective, what is accepted in our society, for me, becomes our culture. There's no denial of the fact that one of Liberia's biggest problem is the fact that we are lost. We have an identity crisis. We don't know who we are. Even though we are Africa's oldest independent nation, other countries that are far less in population than us got independence, fewer years than us, have progressed. I mean, imagine, I was in a meeting the other day prepping for the World Cup, and we were talking about Cape Verde. And the question came about, because I'm from Africa, what should we expect from Cape Verde's fans? And I thought that was hilarious. I said, I have no idea, because Cape Verde is a small island in Africa of less than 1 million people. Yet they are. They never had major players playing in the top 5 league, never produced a world best, but yet they are making their first inaugural World Cup, because they understood where we are today. They were able to go out there at the Peabody and recruit people that were not necessarily born in Cape Verde, but were descendants of Cape Verde's. They don't play in the top 5 league, but they play in the second divisions, in the first divisions. And beyond that, the island was able to support them. And yet they're making their first World Cup. This is the same Cape Verde doing the George Weah 11 time. We used to flock like hell. Today they are making the World Cup. And they have consistently made the AFCON 2 consecutive times in a row. So it's not about what we think the culture is. It's about how we live that culture. And from where I stand, rape is culturally acceptable in our society because we've done nothing about it. We have not set any example. Right? People who are fortunate get away with stuff and nothing comes out of it. There's nothing wrong with being fortunate. There's nothing wrong with having money. I love to have money. I love to be fortunate. I don't want to be the part of the bottom dirt. Right? But there's honor, there's dignity, there's respect, there's principle that comes with coming from the bottom and being at the top. You can relate to those that are at the bottom, and you have an appreciation of all of what matters, all of what got you to where you are. If you have money, you are married, You should be able to have multiple side chicks as much as you want. I'm not supporting this nonsense because I'm married. I love my wife. She's beautiful. And if you're not as beautiful as my wife, I don't want you to be a side chick. If you got nothing to lose, I don't want you to be a side chick. I ain't got time for the nonsense. All I'm saying is, if you got money and you have an appreciation of that, and you can do things that you would not do without money, then do it responsibly. And that means you don't have to sleep with a 15-year-old if you're a 60-year-old. You can find a 25-year-old. That's a grown woman. You don't have to sleep with a 25-year-old if you're a 75-year-old. And if you decide to do so, at least that's not rape. But if that happens and you have money, there should be a system that holds you accountable. So what we have accepted in our country, Jerome, is what this is the norm. I said that the last time. Corruption is the culture in Liberia. It's culturally acceptable to be corrupt. It's culturally acceptable that if you come from the bottom, if you were eating dry rice, if you were poor and you got government job, it's acceptable to build mansions. It's acceptable to acquire a headquarters when you could better pay your rent, even though you've been in political office for 12 years plus 6 years. We do nothing about these things. This is a norm. And the people who we are talking about, the bread and butter issues, the people who we're talking about, they congregate at these headquarters. That's indicative that they're okay with it. So when people ask, are the people going to eat at headquarters they will eat? Obviously, they resoundingly say, yes, we want to eat headquarters. So we can talk about all of this stuff, but Liberia have a serious problem. And every day we talk about it, and I get sick and tired of it sometimes, but I don't want to get tired talking because Liberia is our only country we have. This voluntary insanity that we have inflicted upon ourselves is almost like a spell. It's almost like witchcraft. We know we are dying. We know we are suffering. Look, I watched a video the last time of what the cops, EPS did with the partisan of Unity Party attempting to talk to Mo Ali. Listen, I don't care what Mo Ali, what position Mo Ali was in 2 years ago. I don't give a damn. And I don't care what kind of car he could have afforded. I don't give a damn. But listen, I come from a place where respect and dignity matters, even if we're trying to have security. I'm not a political figure. But again, if I went out in the streets, I don't care what kind of car I'm driving. I believe in security. I never believe in that, but now I believe that I need, when I go to Liberia, I need to invest in security. But again, having security and being in a position of worth and power does not negate the fact that you should have some kind of respect. Because when you're looking down, when you've been up, when you're looking, the people that are down right now, you could need them to put you up. I don't think it was necessary for those guys to treat a partisan like that because he's trying to engage Mo Ali. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be abusive. But these are things that we accept in our country. So I like the fact that Johnny is trying to cautiontize us and all of that. But again, Jerome, what we accept in our society becomes norms when there are no procedures, when there are no laws that holds us accountable if we go outside of those norms. And that's how I feel about it.
Thank you. Let me go to Seleke. Seleke, the part of this thing here that debunks what Johnny said here. The UN advocates say timing of her death laid bare the widening gap between Liberia's promises to protect women and the digital reality they face, especially in rural areas where there is no Western law, where the state do not reach. The new narrative is concealing the identity of Esther, her daughter, and Fatu to protect them for retribution and the stigma in the rural area. We are talking about areas where we do not have the police force, we do not have anyone. So this is the rural area we are talking about here. We got men who feel that they have domain over these women. They can do anything. It is their property. Your take on this? Seleke, you have frozen again. pay your bill. Okay, let me go to Victor Nagbe. Before I go to the doctor who has the moral and the spiritual evidence to talk about this. But Victor, this is an indictment on those of us that were born in the interior that saw this. We all witnessed this. To the point where I think one time somebody put in our chat here that in their community, the women will say, hey, my boyfriend, my husband don't beat me, then he doesn't love me. This means we have internalized brutality as part of our culture. Your take?
Well, look.
One minute, Nagbe, can I ask one question to go quickly? Let me ask you guys one question. Within the Jewish community in the U.S., how frequent do you guys hear about crime occurring or police effecting arrest in the Jewish community in the U.S.?
Plenty of time. You see, but the question you asked is buttressing the point they were making. In the Catholic and the Jewish community, right? The abuse of young boys, for instance, in the Catholic and Jewish community, I don't want to paint a broad brush, but to some extent, the good boys in that environment think it's a norm. So you know what they do? They do everything in their power to not only keep it within, and so the police are not involved, because when the police gets involved, it goes to another level, right? Actions occur. So to your question, it happens, but they keep it under the rod. They deal with it the Liberian way, what we call the Liberian way. But if it goes out there where there are complaints made, actions happen in Liberia. Not only are they doing it openly and flamboyantly, they're doing it flamboyantly, knowing that nothing happens because of their position.
The police, that's going to be the enforcer. Victor, your take.
I get the point that Johnny is making, but I am here to tell him that the conflict resolution he's describing, it exists in our communities, but there are times that issues will arise that actually outweigh the mechanism for traditional conflict resolution, and that's when the police becomes necessary. If you read the article, the chief in that story is telling the reporter that on numerous occasions they had told this lady to leave because this guy's attitude defied all their attempts to reach a resolution between whatever is going on with him and the wife. He's a constant wife beater. They had tried on numerous occasions, but the woman's retort was, she got 6 children. Where is she going to go? The children are going to die because she will not be able to feed the children and pay their school fees. She felt tied to this man because of financial, whatever it was that maybe they were doing together or that he was doing. Again, I hate to bring it back to the ability of the government to create the enabling environment for our people to eke out living on their own. But these are the conditions that these people are enduring. I understand what you're saying. We all grew up that way, even up to this day. My friends here several times. Look, a couple of years back, a group of us traveled from here all the way to Atlanta, from South Jersey here, to go and try to reach a resolution between our friend and who his wife was having this disagreement. It happens all the time. We do it all the time. We do it. But there are some of those issues that defy all attempts to use the traditional means of conflict resolution. And that's when the police must come in to help. But if you have a body lying down, Johnny, I don't care what kind of conflict resolution techniques you have. If you got a body lying down for 24 hours and no police shows up because the police is not there. It's not there. It's not that they are around, they are unwilling. But it took the people 24 hours to reach the police. And then when the police came, it appeared they were upset that these people had disturbed their routine and bringing them into this thing. They were not listening to some of the things that people were telling them. Oh, we want an autopsy done. Oh, we want they destroyed the evidence and all of that. Up to now, I don't think the man's name is even mentioned in the papers. I think those are the issues that concern us, Johnny. I think your point is quite legitimate, but I think it has limits. And I think this particular instance and several instances like this one, they defeat the limits of our traditional conflict resolution. And this is where we think the Lord needs to come in to protect us. So I mean, Esther, I read a story and I'm glad, Jerome, you picked it up out of it. I really, I have so many questions for myself, What is all this thing? We're all over the place here, wasting our time coming and sitting here and talking all the big talk. When the ordinary people, they're living these nightmares on a daily basis. While we sit here pontificate trying to find the civilized solution to the problems, sometimes some of these solutions are not that complicated. Why do we need 14 additional seats? Take that money and deploy more cops. Let them keep the peace. I don't think that's a difficult call or a difficult ask, But Jerome, I'll pass it back to you.
Dr. Peabody, it says here this heartbreaking story is familiar. Liberia landscape of gender-based violence remains shaped by harmful norms, culture, stigma, and the public tendency to blame the victim when these things happen. Men will say, she doesn't listen to me. I'm the husband. She doesn't listen to me. When you were here, when Koga and everybody else were campaigning, Koga went on the stage and said, this woman should not be going against me. Because when men are talking, women are not supposed to be in the public. They should be inside. This is our culture, he says. And the people cheer. When men are talking, these women should not be here. Much less she has the tendency and the gall and the audacity to challenge me that have been crowned by the chief. I am the heir apparent to Prince Johnson. Who is she to question that authority? It has been bequeathed unto me as a man. She shouldn't even be here. And you say the Western society made you to do that. Dr. Peabody, let's come on this one. I'm on fire today because this one here is not going to go by.
Mr. Gayman, we live in a culture where we treat women as subhumans. The woman should be the one to cook. The woman should be the one to wash the clothes. The women should be the one to do everything in the home. And we think it's acceptable, until I see people go to parties. And I watched a young man one time that he was not going to get up to get his food when everybody else was going, and let his wife go and get his food and bring it to him. And he thought it was something acceptable. And we all sat there and laughed. And then we talk in the back of the nonsense that he was doing. That's the culture we have in our country. Every day we see people abusing women physically, in the homes and stuff like that. And nothing is done. Nothing is done. You don't even have enough police. The gender administrator is not even at that level to do anything. So men feel that they are in charge, they are in control. When you don't have a law, and that's what I say, is some of these people, why do you think some of the nonsense they do over there, when they come here, they can't even try because they try to go to jail and they are affected for the rest of their life? Because the law is weak. In the absence of a credible justice system of the police and others, and nothing will happen. More women will be killed. More women will be abused. More women will be sexually abused, physically abused, morally abused. All going to happen to them because we don't have any law that protect these people. You talking about Monrovia. Monrovia don't even have enough police. What more about people living outside the country? Hey, Hanson, stop. What about other people that are living outside the country? You even got enough police in that country to even deal with the crime and things that go on. A small city like that, you can't even walk certain part of it at night. Certain part of Broad Street and you can't even walk at night because they will rob you and you got no police to protect you. So then one more about people living in places like Maryland, Sano, and Nima. God, they will have a feast with this lady. They will beat them, blooded them up, put them outside, and the lady will come right back. The parents will bring them right back and bring them in the home. Little children, they are out there. You see grown men married with kids of those children age. They are proud to walk up with them in places in restaurants, holding their hands, sitting only because they're abusing them because of the poverty. So the law is weak. And when the law is weak, nothing can happen. it will be like that for a very long time. Maybe 1 or 2 cases might come to light, but the rest of them, we've seen people being killed in Monrovia. And what happened? Some of the alleged perpetrator were allowed to leave the country and go, as it relates to some of the Lebanese guys. The case that happened with that little beautiful girl who was killed. What happened to the kids? Dead. Even with cameras and things, the kid was dead. A lot of cases, You're dealing with the law. You're dealing with a very hungry judge who can never be satisfied. And a few thousand dollars we give him, he will go there and put his ethical value on the line, and go and talk about, oh yeah, this thing, and suffer people. So our law is weak. As long as the law is weak, it's like a dad living in the home of mom. Once you don't discipline that child, when that child does something and you think it will be fine, when the child gets to another level, it will be difficult to control that child. He will not respect you. He will do anything he wants to do because he feels that. And when he gets to that level, there's nothing you can do no more to control him. And that's why you see a lot of parents roaming around. Even when I used to work in the children's services, I came across a lot of Liberian children. Sometimes I get calls to do investigations. I came across a lot of Liberian families. Disorganized, seeing them and looking at them, what they're going through. And sometimes I'll even try to change my accent because I don't want them to know that I'm even Liberian. But to see them living like that, sometimes I'll have to.
Can you speak the accent when you change it? Can you tell the way you change when you change the accent?
I'm like, where you from, man? Where you from? What's your name? But I would see them, and I would just sit there and I walk into a home one time for family. I knew the family. And even as I tried to cover myself, the lady came and said, I know you. I know you. Are you hearing Peabody?
You can't fool me, I know you.
But Dr. Peabody, not to cut it short, I was speaking at a juvenile justice forum, and I went to the correction department where I was speaking. I had about 500 young kids sitting in the audience, and I was speaking. These kids sitting in the front were just looking at me. Then when we were question and answer, one walked up to me and said, "Are you from Haiti?" I said, "No." The other one said, "I think you're from Jamaica." I said, "No." The other guy said, "Bahamas." I said, "No." Then one guy, he got so fat, he said, "Nigga, tell me where you from." So I said, "Why don't you just ask me where I'm from?" He said,
Yeah,
nigga, tell me where
you from. Who you calling a nigga?
You sound nigga, tell me where you from, man.
I said, but why you guys started guessing? Why you didn't just come out to me and say, "Sir, where are you from?"
Because they don't know the thing. We're all from the islands.
Yeah, the same country. Yeah.
But Jerome, to Doc's point, this is the reason why I'm no longer going to underestimate the importance of investing in security when I'm in Liberia, because I realized that if you don't take precaution, you could lose your life, and you will have all these debates about how did a man die, how did our man die. Meanwhile, your family are grieving you, and you don't even know how there's no resolution whatsoever. And to his point, a lot of things that happen in Liberia, nothing becomes of it. When you're dead, there's not much advocacy you can make for yourself. You know what I'm saying? But we seriously have a security deficit issue in our country where someone can really mess with you if you're not careful, and nothing come out of it. What is the investigation update on the Liberian from Canada who was murdered in her own house that she's built? She didn't even enjoy for 6 months. What's the update on that? That's a dead case. It's done deal. So imagine investing your money in that. And every time I think about that, I'm like, my parents, I'm like, we gotta have a gun. You gotta invest in security. It's very important. You gotta not just invest in security, but the kind of security you invest in. We have to create a bond. It has to be a family ship. It has to be a trust or something that you trust. Because if you're not careful, People can kill you in our country, and ain't not a damn thing will come out of it.
Nothing will come out of it.
So I don't want to be. I'm not going to be a statistic. So all of this nonsense about who this person think they are. No, I'm going to invest. I have decided moving forward, I'm going to have security with me where I go, and we're not going to be flamboyant about it. But I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to protect my family because if we're depending on the government to protect us after we're dead, it's a done deal. Nothing will come out of it.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, tomorrow we're going to have Dr. Clarence Money by here. Please tell a friend and tell a friend. Let's come out tomorrow. Don't sit on the sideline. Come out with your question. Find out who he is, what he wants to do, how he's going to do it. And let's take him to court of public opinion. But before we go there, let me remind you, we are trying to collect few dollars for our brothers and sisters on the ground. I won't even call them brothers and sisters. These are our children and grandchildren. So we got a cash app here, the $sign TCA, just in case you are not.
But Jerome, Jean said she paid for me. You didn't get it? No, that's a joke.
No speaking English. No speaking.
What is it? Habla Español. All right, but anyway, I'll make mine tomorrow. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
That's good. Eh?
All right.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, have a good one, guys. Okay, guys, it is the $sign TCA as in the closing argument. If you are listening on radio, it's TCA, the $sign TCA 2500. And if you'd like to use Zelle, it is 678-438-3003. If you are in Liberia and you want to contribute, we have a number too. If you like to use SendWave, we also have a number available where when you send it to Monrovia to that number, it goes directly into the same account and we will give you credit for it. So if you have SendWave, it's 0888-297311 or 0777-649986. Thank you very much in advance for your generosity and goodwill. May God richly bless you for this coming holiday and going forward. Do not forget, while you are hearing our voices here, young folks in Liberia are sitting up late, making sure that we stay on the air. So please do something. And for those who have contributed, we want to say thank you. You have paid it forward. It may not come back to you, but it may come back to your children, your great-grandchildren, just as God has blessed us for good deeds somebody else did or our parents did to somebody else's child or children. So we are receiving it forward in advance. Do the same thing. Pay it forward. Give to our young folks. Let's make the Christmas better for them. But let me start with Johnny on this one. They said ex-Monserrate Superintendent Grace Kwan described Deputy Speaker Fala and warns the Unity Party and called Thomas Fala a political prostitute. Grace Kwan is not holding back. This is it. This is what she is. She's taking him to task. She calling him a political prostitute. Former Monserrate County Superintendent Madam Grace Kwan warned the Unity ruling party, UP, against Speaker Thomas Fala and accused several recent political defectors of engaging in what she described as political prostitution to the highest extent. Appearing on Push FM breakfast show, Kwan cautioned the Boyka Kong-led administration to be vigilant as they welcome new entrants into the party, insisting that many of those crossing carpet over are wolves in sheepskin. Those past actions pose a danger to Liberia's governing process, she says. The Unity Party must be very careful, very, very careful, she warned. These were people who sat there and squandered our country's development funds. They destroyed our country. And I said this with no regrets. On Friday, Deputy Speaker Fala was accompanied by 5 other lawmakers at a homecoming fundraising ceremony held at the UP headquarters. Falau, a veteran legislator from Lofa County, and a former prominent figure in the Coalition for Democratic Change, an ally of ex-President George Weah, who plotted against his former political institution, the CDC, along with lawmakers, then Speaker Funati Kofa. He told the audience that his decision to join the Unity Party came after a period of deep reflection. He said his long-term commitment would depend on how he and other newcomers were embraced within the new political party. Speaking on behalf of his colleagues from Lofa, he pledged up to 30,000 United States dollars to the Unity Party's national fundraising drive. However, Kwan claims she's physically evidenced, documented how the deputy speaker and lawmaker mismanaged funds intended for the people of Montserrat County. According to her, these same individuals are now showing up under the banner of Unity Party, wearing party scarves and pretending to be loyalists. Today, I see them sitting in the Unity Party scarf on their necks, looking like they were all to be careful they were here, she said. There are wolves in sheep's clothing, and all status apples have worms. So the apple got rotten worm in there, she says. That's strong, Johnny. This is strong. And this woman is intentional.
Yeah, so I know Zinele very well. I know her very well because we worked together during the election period. She was the vice running mate to Dr. Moniba during the 2023 elections. And she was able to unveil a lot of documentation she has on those individuals that were in the legislature serving as Montserrat County legislators. And so I think she's speaking from that perspective. There are a lot of times that monies were allocated to the county through China Union Development Fund, the Canada Development Fund from the government, and going through what she experienced working with Thomas Fallas, Joseph, Edward Ford, and the rest of them, in Montserrat County, she has that. So I think she's speaking from an informed point of view. And responding, I want to just speak briefly about what you read about Thomas Fallas, what he said as a goal to join the Unity Party. They are stay there depends on how people will receive them or treat them. That is a conditional statement he's making, and that should tell UP that I can give excuse anytime and leave you guys. I'm only here because my interest is protected. That's why I got up on that kind of statement. But again, like my brother Robert was saying, everybody else, the kind of brother we have is like we don't have standards for anything in this country. Or maybe if we have standards, our standards are not upheld. We don't keep ourselves accountable to those standards. So we do anything because again, the country is poor. People are looking for food, people are looking for money to get things done. Right now, you may talk all the ills about all the guys that we suspect or where we accuse of corruption. They are the one paying million post school fee in this country, and then people see them as the help for them. But like I told people, one key thing Ramos spoke about, I pick up from here, is that corruption is a culture in this country. And from my perspective now, I'm reviewing, looking at things, because if we are serious, if we fight against corruption, we will be fighting against gender-based violence. If we succeed to defeat corruption in this country, we can defeat gender-based violence. If we fight corruption, we can succeed to build what we want to build in this country. But in my mind, I feel like people pretend that they don't like corruption, but they like it. And so, as a sociologist, I agree with my brother Rabo that corruption has become a cultural value, a norm in this country. So then, in that case, why should we have LACC? We waste our money on LACC. We should not have LACC. We should not have anything to fight corruption. We should just carry on and make ourselves that unique part of the world where we live the way we live.
But LACC themselves is donating,
Yeah, no, but to be frank, my brother was speaking, I was taking some notes and reading some things. I said, but that's not making sense to me. And I was sometimes I talk about it a little bit. I said, well, because We still don't like corruption. And like me, if I tell people I don't like to eat okra from birth. I don't care how you face okra for me, I will not get along. If I feel me, I post it. In 30 minutes, I'll start feeling so bad and all kinds of stuff happening. So I don't like it. It's not my love, I don't like it. Therefore, I keep myself away from it. Right? So if we like rent decide we don't like corruption, we feel corruption is the problem. Even if I know you did corrupt somebody and I corruption money bought for to drink beer, I'll tell you, no, I'm drinking your beer. I bought my own beer. Right? And the way in which we organize even our financial system. Okay, look, let's give everybody a credit card in the country, common credit card. All of the government officials, whatever, get a credit card, get a TOM card. Where I work, the vehicle I use in my office, don't deal with people. The driver has a TOM card, the driver has a ledger. All I do is, when I have to travel tomorrow, I get the 24 hours in advance by compliance and right that I'm supposed to go to this place and I will need vehicle. All I will do, communicate with logistics. Logistics have the vehicle arranged, the driver go and take deliver the TOM card. All he knows is that we go to a fuel station, he get TOM card, they fill the car. The TOM card gives account. That's how we're managing donor money at the cattle center where I work. So how can we now use that same method to protect the people's money? Why we can't give every minister, everybody that takes government fee or get a TOM card? Don't get a no coupon. Get a TOM card and you get a TOM card, you should go get fuel and get a log register. You took fuel at 200 kilometers. So at the end of the day at my place, the legislation does what we call efficiency calculation. After you analyze all the data on fuel consumption by the ledger, you know exactly in the next 6 months how much fuel we're buying. How much fuel we're buying, you will predict. If we will use more based on our travel request we make, then he will make allocation. It makes this easy. That's what I tell people. For the last 20 years, brothers, I've lived in that system to the point that I don't have issue with anybody. My salary comes, it takes care of me. They don't give me fuel for my car. I got my own car, I drive to go to work, and park it. Anywhere else I go to work for the government, for the organization, I use the organization's vehicle. On my way home, I get in my vehicle, I come home and park. My vehicle get broken, I repair it. Right now, the year is ending, and by January 15, I should be able to renew my vehicle, driver license, registration, and insurance. If I don't, I know that I know I must do that. That's in my plan. If I don't do that, I won't put my car in the traffic because I hate to be disgraced. To be the police, I know I'm wrong. Then bring me park me in the sun, I'm begging the policeman. No. I prefer park my car, get on public transport, and go to where I have to go. Once my car does not have registration, and my driver license expire, I will not put my car in the traffic. I will park it home. I walk on the road and get public transport and go where I have to go. Because I don't want to be disgraced in the police, where police park me. Then I beg you, policeman, I beg you, please, I beg you, forgive me. I will try tomorrow. No. I'll come and stand up, keep my dignity at that level. So let's fight corruption by making sure that we give public account of everything. If we do that, we'll fight gender-based violence, we'll fight child abuse, we'll fight any disease in the country that we will not believe. But until we can get rid of corruption, all the offenses, the crimes will keep occurring here because people take money from. Look, before I close, a young man told me, Johnny, most of your public officials' money go from the casino. And I was shocked. Mr. Gayman and my brothers here. The young man said he went to the place on a Friday. He said, ministers, lawmakers, the guys were playing gamble, like this slot machine. They are spending more than $2,000-3,000 on the spot, and the machine is taking it away from them. So the boss said, Chief, that for that day I knew why people are making corruption in this country. The young man was 24 years old, but he's a moving guy, he always around those guys in places. Yeah? The guy said, big brother, I know why people corruption. That's what you mean, you know. He said, Saturdays, weekends, the amount of money you guys spend in the casino and you don't get a return. That tells me that the guy, if you take a whole salary, put it in gamble, and the machine takes it away, you come back, you're hungry, you're going to take money from somewhere that doesn't belong to you. So gamble is also an issue here. Gamble,
Johnny, that's not gamble. That's greed. That's extreme greed. Mr. Garguah, this woman is touching onto something that, I mean, she's very bold. Political prostitution, she says, and this, the man prior that came from the Unity Party, one of the original founders, this is what he was talking about. Those people who have suffered walking the so-called poo-poo water and cherry and all that. Someone like Tomalin comes, and everybody else is sidelined, and he takes center stage. And he has become the star of the show. This woman is saying you have to be careful with these kinds of food. This is the man that Darrell Dillon said, if you don't give Joe Weah any credit for anything, he says, I work with Charles Bronson for years. Not once did he produce any millionaire. He said, but George Weah lifted the hands of Thomas Falah, made him an instant millionaire. Lifted the hands of Sir Joseph and the girl who died and all of these people. Say, George Weah did that. Today, Thomas Falah is turning his back. Either this is transactional, that he's doing it to save his skin, but this is what this man was talking about. If you have the most money and you come, the stage is for sale. Someone like Mo Ali is calling Thomas Falah the most ethical, the most moral human being he ever sent to the podium. Your take on Grace Myers' assertion.
I mean, she's even though I have my own opinion of her, and her deliverables as superintendent, but she was I think she was spot on. I agree. But again, I think we would be disingenuous if we didn't acknowledge that this is not unique to Unity Party. I think a lot of diehard seditionists felt the same way during the Weah administration. When you listen to narrative from the former Solicitor General about what Weah didn't do right. This is a man who was not around. He's not one of those seditionists that were considered as being there from the inception of the struggle of CPC. Yet and still, he was promoted from Deputy Agriculture Minister to Solicitor General. He had 3 positions in the Weah administration. Yet and still, this is a man who deemed it necessary to offer some critique to the Weah administration. Someone who benefited the most from the Weah administration. You can say the same thing about Kanye, a young man who left the Liberty Party and then went to the Unity Party and then went to CDC, spokesman of the ruling establishment. I mean, these are not small positions financially wise. I mean, think about 2023. I'm not going to, but monies were flowing around the country. To be the spokesman of CDC is no small feat. Okay, a guy who described Joseph Boakai, quote, as weak and incapable of carrying out the function of the presidency. A man who describes himself as a centrist, now only praising the government. This is not unique to Unity Party. I think all partisans from all political parties, especially the loyal ones who has been there, have experienced this source of negotiation. This is the reason why I'm against this whole political opposition negotiation only with the objective of removing the incumbent. I think it does no good for Liberia. It weakens our democracy. It weakens our political institution, and it's a temporary failure when it comes to institutionalization of our political parties. I strongly believe that the strength of our political institutions as institutions determines the strength of our governance structure, the way our political parties function, from the executive team to the standard bearer of the political leader of the party, determines what happens when these parties are given the opportunity to lead our country. So she's right, and outside of politics, I am a strong believer in loyalty. Let me tell you something. And I tell people all the time, Mr. Jerome, I know a lot of people. A lot of people know me. I can get invitation to all of the different events that I want. And if I'm not invited, you're not going to see me there. But I got very limited group of folks I call friends, because I think friendship, brotherhood and sisterhood, I think it goes to a certain limit, to the point where even if my brother and my sister and I are not in a good space, it's between us. Even if it's not for me to go and link up with my brother enemies or my brother political ops, unless it's about country first. But what we see in Liberia is when you see politicians linking up with political opponents, is because, one, they have no principles, they have no respect or appreciation for relationships, and they have no respect and appreciation for people who helped them got to where they are right now. If I'm Thomas Falah, unless George Weah is doing something at the detriment of the country, there's no way I'm going to be disloyal to George Weah, even if I'm not happy with decisions George Weah made. There are many ways you can deal with that. There's no way I'm going to go and get on the phone with people at Spoon to talk about Dr. Peabody, Tomalin George, and Ben Sanvee or Kev Hassan. There is no way I'm going to show this kind of disloyalty to my friends. I can chastise my friends. I can have this conversation behind closed doors if it does not involve my country. In Liberia, we are belly driven, greed. People have no appreciation of friendships. People have no appreciation of people who got them to where they are. They have no appreciation. And none of this has anything to do with the country. It has to do with self-aggrandizement. This is what this is about. And so I agree with her. The people who were there for a unity party are not people that are valued. The people that are valued are people who despise unity party. They are people who spoke the worst about the standard bearer of unity party. These are the individuals who are valued today. And I don't want to be part of those circles. But in order to not be part of those circles, Mr. Jerome, you've got to start making decisions to be financially stable yourself. The reason why we have greedy and people who are keeping their mouth shut because they don't want, because their livelihood depends on the government. You think I give a damn about Joseph Boakai and my friends who are in government? What can they offer me? They can't offer me anything. They can't offer me anything. I don't need anything from them when I'm in Liberia. Oh, you won't give me a car? I got my own car. I don't need your money to buy club beer. I don't need your house.
I got car. Yeah, I got car for you.
Don't got car for me if my car breaks down. I don't need nothing. The problem is that the Peabody is a lot of these people are dependent on these individuals, so they're limited on what they can say. So in order for us to bridge this gap, we who know better, we who are outspoken, we who are patriots, we're not perfect. We got to position ourselves. You cannot survive in Liberia if you depend on government job and government connection. I'm not saying connection is not important. Everywhere connection is important, even in corporate America. But when it's borderline on your livelihood, it becomes dangerous for you. It becomes dangerous for your country. Because at this point, you cannot even say what your conviction is. It's bad. This is what we have in our country. We have a lot of people who are surviving in survival mood. They don't agree with what's happening, but they damn sure will not speak up against it because their livelihood depends on it. This is what we have in our country, and that's what it is.
Great. Dr. Peabody, I want you to look at this picture. I think you know who that is.
Lane Eugene Nagbe.
Excellent. That will make me to segue into my question. Eugene Nagbe was a founder and big shot in the CDC. In fact, he was Secretary General of the CDC. When Ellen decided to gut the CDC, he left the party and jumped ship. He joined the CDC, he joined the Unity Party, and he began to be one of Ellen's darling boys. When Ellen left power, he jumped right back to CDC and became one of the stalwarts of the CDC. So what's different? Talk to me about this one. This one here, we're talking about complete political, it's a circus in Liberia.
But I think there's a small difference here. When Daphne, I will respond.
Okay. I don't see anything. In fact, Tomalin was just a regular guy who became a representative that made his way up to where he is. This man was Secretary General of the party. Secretary General Eugene Nagbe forsook his brother and jumped. So what's the difference? This is, that was the beginning. Go ahead, Doc.
Oh, Mr. Given, the problem will continue to face in our country. We're talking about loyalty. We're talking about commitment. We already said it. Somebody called them Jika fleas, politicians. Jika, they are political.
I didn't hear that word for a long time. Jika flea.
Jika flea buffoons. That who they
are. Why wouldn't get Jika in America that Peabody?
Because you ain't got flea.
Because, yeah. But look, Liberian politician is not the politician that will bring change to that country. Not because half of them they came up they live poor and they want to get rich overnight. So they're not going to come up and say they will bring change. And what we're seeing with Tomalin was one of the most corrupt lawmakers in that country. I'm telling you, this guy control ways and means. I was told that even stationaries for the Capitol building and for lawmakers, they got cut into the money. Stationaries, the least things. He cut into the money and made thousands out of those things. And now he's moving from that. There's nothing wrong with you bringing a plank seller and you can rise up to the next level. There's nothing wrong with it. Some people came from the least, and became somebody. Nothing wrong with that. But these guys continue to live their life on stealing from poor people. They are complete fleas. They live on these people, jumping from one to another, and they play that game right. They would jump from one end and know when they see another soft target, they jump there. That's why they steal a lot of money and save some, then they go there. Now you go into a party and say you're giving them $30,000. What do they man get $30,000 from? The Liberian ever sit to wonder why is somebody giving $40,000, $50,000? Where do you think these people get this money from? Liberia will not even think about it. These guys are robbing them. That's why they fight. They can kill themselves when it comes to this budget thing. Overnight, they are running different deals on this budget. They're going from home to home, trying to make sure the budget are supported and they get what they need. So the problem here is Liberian politicians, they are belly driven. When you get hungry on one food, when no food on the other side, you jump to someone where you find food. And that's why you're going to see they're not lawyer because they don't have the job again. They don't have the money again. So they're not going to be lawyer. They're going to jump from one end to another, doing the same thing. Even the various people you see in the Unity Party during a CDC time, a lot of them here today who sending back and accusing and cussing. They were all in McGill, two of them home did it, getting money and begging and doing things like that. So that we find ourselves. These guys are not really loyal politicians. They are not want to say these are God-sent politicians. You know who we call God-sent politician? Is God that women pay, who will stand for what is right, who will not sit there and accept nonsense or accept bribe. Say, I don't care what you do, you can remove me. I will stand for something. But they do not stand for anything. They just stand for what benefit them at the time. When the wind grows, how she got a stick on people's foot. When you have it, you got to stick for somebody eating you all night. That how they begin to eat, and then it stick until you take it off. When you take it off, you find yourself in another place. That's how they are. So our people are criminals. Our people are bad. Ungrateful. That's who they are. So sometimes when you're dealing with them, you just deal with them from the from God's feelings, so I'm doing it for God's sake. My God feeling tell me, but sometimes you're doing it, you can't trust them. You can't trust none of them. They come around, and that's why you see nothing happening. Why they will even sit there and wait until Sweden come and cut all the support to you guys. You don't even try to engage people from the early stage. They took all that money from you guys, and people going to suffer. So what's going to happen is that these people are not politicians. They are somebody say what? Political buffoon, chica flies, going from one place to other. The moment they get hungry, they jump somewhere where they can find food. Very ungrateful. That's how they are. Ingrate. That's who they are. Today they're sitting back. Those who need to go to jail, we are here begging him for money. Go to Samuel Pewee, they're treating Samuel Pewee, they're calling him rogue. Samuel Pewee, one of those who divided thousands of dollars among most of the politicians. I mean, the opposition in that country. McGill, they were all there with McGill. McGill were giving them money. 12 were giving them money. Other people were giving them thousands of dollars. Today, they stand back and they are so ungrateful. Going and
even my dear friend and brother, and I told him the day I hear your name involving corruption, not only thing they can say that why they think I'm sedition, but they don't understand that we had a relationship before even CDC. Even the former aide to the president, my dear friend and brother Sekou, you know how many of these guys he helped pay their rent?
Yeah.
And most of these guys were criticizing George Weah fiercely. He never let that deter him from his relationship. Today they're in government. I asked when's the last time they called to check up on him to say, my dear brother, how you doing? This is bad. This is bad human behavior. That Mr. Jerome, imagine if I become president today and I act like I no longer know Mr. Jerome. I no longer know Dr. Peabody. I'm the most busiest man in Liberia now that I cannot even meet and drink a beer with my brothers. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, let me. We get time is running out here. We got a few more minutes, but let's start with this. We talk about greediness and corruption. Sometimes when I'm when I'm home, I turn to the show that they call America's Greed, and you see some of these people. How in the world in Liberia? Your salary is zero. You're not making any money. You got no income. And God blesses you and you become representative. Now you're making $20,000 a month, from zero to $25,000. Then you turn around and you go to the casino to gamble. You're winning more money. This brings me to this story here. A renowned popular soccer coach, the football coach, were caught drug dealing for extra cash. Lofa County head coach nabbed in Grand Bassa County for selling drugs. Lofa County head coach Collie has been arrested for alleged trafficking narcotics after Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency officers in Grand Bassa County reportedly caught him transporting dozens of tramadol along the Magibi Grand Bassa corridor. Collie was then taken into custody November 28 at the Orange Grove Gate checkpoint, where LDEA officers were conducting a routine search of vehicle traveling towards Greenville, Sano County. George Johnson, senior investigator with the LDEA Grand Bassa detachment, confirmed the Liberian investigator on Monday that Collie has been remained in custody since his arrest. According to Johnson, officer was found with 82 tramadol in his possession with an estimated value of about 164,000 Liberian dollars. I don't know what that is in money. Collie was remanded in Monroe in Buchanan Central Prison last Monday after the Buchanan Central Court ordered him and his detention to be transferred to the Monroe Central Prison. Johnson said, noting that Collie will remain behind bar until authorities transfer him to the Monroe City Prison for sentencing. At the Buchanan facility, corrections officer confirmed his detention, but barred reporters from speaking directly to him. One day before his arrest on November 27, Collie was suspended by Sano County FC, where he served as head coach. The club cited his continued poor performance and repeated failure to follow technical instruction. This action followed continued patterns of poor performance and repeated failure to comply with the technical instruction issued by the technical team. This guy was bad news. The coach of Lofa County, Brother Collie.
So Jerome.
That's the greed we are talking about and the corruption. Yes, go ahead.
So the technical team had all of this bad review of his coach. So they were waiting for him to get caught with allegedly caught with drugs to determine his failure to follow technical instructions. If they had the guts to do anything, why they didn't release him of his post? Listen, the country.
At least they suspended him though.
They suspended him after the fact, after he got caught, right? That's when they suspended him. But why has the government not argue or demanded the arrest of his suspended so-called suspended youth and sport minister, right? For raping a young lady, right? They're waiting for this whole testing to be done, DNA test to be done, and they don't even have the money for the DNA test to be done. But this is great. $168,000 is not even $1,000. It's not even $1,000 in USD. That's small money. It's not $1,000 in USD.
But Mr. Garguah, this is what the judge always say. When they arrest a drug dealer, the drug dealer will say, Judge, this is my first time. I need clemency or pardon me or be lenient. And the judge will say, you mean it's your first time being caught?
Yeah, but there's nothing. I'm not against.
What made you think they didn't have 1,000 pills? He not sell it all the way from Sando. He got caught in Grand Bazaar with the last.
Yeah, but these listen. These I'm a bit sympathetic to the little guys. You know, these are the little guys. You saw the video of the LDA boss throwing a couple of $10 LD to the LDA officers, and they were all excited. Imagine if I went out there and I threw $500, change it in LD, and I just threw $500 out there. I mean, I can get away with anything at any checkpoint. In fact, it's so bad to the point where I'm not even sure I'm supposed to say this, but I'm not even going to say it. I mean, you're leaving clubs at night, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and officers don't really care. It depends who in the car, in the back seat of the car, the front seat. They don't really care what's in the back seat of the car as long as you take good care of them. It's sad. So what I'm basically saying is, if you have this technicity to arrest and you have teams making these swift decisions to fire or suspend coaches, what about people in government who are stealing? Why has the asset recovery team not issue some sort of investigation on the unknown $10 million project in Lofa County? But they're wasting time on the on Claire Foundation, right? That is functional. Listen, if you're not going to invest time in capturing the real criminals when it comes to drugs, if the government do not have a sustained plan in place to reintegrate and rehabilitate ex-combatant, they have not done that since we stopped fighting war in 2005. 2003. If they don't have all of these, it's indicative of the fact that they don't care. They don't give a damn. So listen, I don't even see anything serious about this case, Mr. Jerome, because this guy right here, first of all, he's going to make the argument that he even thought that these were just regular medications. He don't know it was actually drugs. But the real drugs that are killing the Zocos and our young people in Liberia, the government don't care to prosecute any of those folks. When's the last time you heard all of the drugs that they've seized in Liberia? When's the last time you heard that they've concluded a case and there's a verdict that has been announced where this person has gone to jail for 25 to 30 years? We are majoring in the minor stuff in our country to set an example. I do not care about making the little guy as an example in Liberia. You want to set an example? Set an example with the big fish. Set an example with the guys that actually matter. Don't set an example with the little guy. This man just trying to survive. He coaching Lofa County. You're not even giving him $500, even though the representative making all these conditions. You're not giving him $500. Why are you bothering him?
But in a country like that,
Right, in a country like that, only the poor people suffer. Only the poor people suffer.
About 900, Jerome, it's $926. I'm not saying we should condone none of this nonsense. What I am saying is the trafficking that matters in Liberia are overlooked. They don't give it no attention. The real issues that matter, they don't give it no attention. So you have a whole government that promised to rescue the people when it comes to building the private sector and creating jobs. But they have not done that in 2 years. But they've been able to afford to purchase a $2.2 million headquarters when they could barely afford to pay rent in the $40,000, $50,000 2 years ago. But we got nothing to say about that. But you want to over a man who transporting something of $926? Give me a break.
Let's go to this. Let's go to this as we close.
Sad.
Let's go to this as we close. They say when accountability becomes an enemy, the troubling reaction to the two ministers' reaction to Front Page Africa. And I will read real quick. The reaction becomes a spotlight in their own, exposing the weakness in our spotlight highlighted. The Minister of Youth and Sport received an F for the year's performance, a verdict based on store youth programs.
What did that come from? Did that come from Front Page Africa?
Yeah, Front Page
No,
Africa.
wait. Before you go further, the minister is arguing that they have refused to give Front Page Africa kiddies.
I'm coming to that. That's why.
That don't count.
The man he says, rather than addressing the glaring deficiency in his ministry, Minister Kehleboe Gongloe chose to frame the evaluation as a retribution tied to an unrelated dispute involving electricity at the Samuel Dopoh Stadium complex. He claimed that Front Page Africa's co-owner, who also operate a restaurant there, were upset that the minister refused to provide free electricity corporation power, as was allegedly done in the previous administration. According to him, this refusal is why they gave him an F. Then on the other hand, this woman, the Minister of Gender, react defensively to the criticism. She says she refused to take the Front Page Africa people on a field trip or expense paid. If you want to get an A in Rodney Sears' ministry or wherever he's doing, you have to take him and his people on field trips and pay for it. That's what she says. Can you imagine? This woman says the reason that Rodney Sears is doing this is because she refused to take Rodney Sears on trips, expensive trip or expense paid. So basically what she's saying, all those that receive aid, like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, she takes him everywhere. I mean, these people are they're telling everybody that they're telling each other. So we now see why Sarah Beslow got an A. And this is why my good old friend, Dr. Peabody, gave Beslow an A. Say she's good. This woman is saying, all of y'all who gave her praise, they took y'all on fabulous trips. They were all over the place eating caviar and drinking your
caviar pancakes. Have you ever eaten caviar pancakes in Soweto? I have tried that, man.
Dr. Peabody, you were drinking your Dom Perignon, eating your caviar.
I've not even met the foreign minister. The only time I met her was on the closing argument here when she announced that she was running to be president of Liberia. And it was on the closing argument that she actually did that. But let me say this. Look, if I were you, the Minister of Youth and Sport, I would try to read that paper and see where I fail and try to improve things. Or if I want Front Page Africa, I want to prove that I can invite them here to kind of show them what I've done and what I've changed. But let me say this. Hate them or like them, Front Page is one of the #1 investigative print media in Liberia. I mean, they are in the whole in West Africa. One of them, they have won several awards, international and local. You know, so I don't think they were just giving people grades because they wanted to, or they were mad with them. You know, if they were mad with them, then foreign ministry, other places won't get the grade they have gotten. But the fact here is, there's a lot of work to be done at that ministry. You've been supposed, you haven't done it. You know, I've been around there, I've seen it. You know, there's a lot that you haven't done. So why not you capitalize on your criticism and move forward and do the best thing? But why are you bringing in people, businesses? You put in other Liberian business, a woman who have worked diligently, very hard to maintain her business at that place, who have a lease for more than 10 years on that place, and she have kept that place up to date. She met it as a mess, and she kept it up to date. Why are you trying to sing out her business and say Front Page Africa own restaurant? Why are you just coming on to say Front Page Africa own restaurant? It's just trying to link somebody to your dirt, and that's what they do. They never accept their mistake, but they always want to link somebody into something. I think it's totally wrong. You know, so the other minister who said that because she didn't take Front Page on a tour, so the rooster, I mean, you're talking like a kid. That's how you're talking. You know, when somebody say, oh, you did it, they say, oh, yeah, you the one did the other one. I mean, you're talking like a kid. All right? People evaluate you, they check you. There's something that you have not done. So go back and fix it. At least next time you have a good report. But stop making excuses. Stop saying things that doesn't make sense. Stop embarrassing other people. Front Page does this every year. They grade people based on the performance. This is not the first time they're doing it. They've been doing it for the last 6-7 years. Unfortunately, the president needs to read that, and your job could be at risk because they're giving you an F. Your job could be at risk. I hope the president can look at it and probably, because these are bad parts. These are very bad parts. You know, especially for the minister of sports. It's very bad for him. He need to improve his work. That's what he needs to do.
Listen, the woman says she didn't take Rodney Shear on fabulous trip, so he gave her a D. So if you want an A from Rodney Shear, according to her, you need to take him on these trips or expense pay. That's what she said. So, is there any credence? I mean, I know we're upset, but Robert, you see any credence in this?
I mean,
you remember what your friend, our friend Pewee said here? He said, when the alligator come from under the water and tell you they're eating people down there, you better believe it. This woman is in there. She say, "This is what we do."
Not without the dead body of the person that alligator have eaten. We haven't seen no dead bodies. All we heard was the alligators are eating people down there. Where are the dead bodies? But listen. If Randy Sear was some kind of hungry, I don't think. I mean, I know he's a businessman and he's been around for a minute. But Randy, and I know he got people to pay and stuff like that. But it doesn't come up as some dude that you know. Every now and then you see him making his little trips here and there. They may not be luxury trips and stuff like that, but he's not one of those journalists that you can just get over with a few bucks. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of hard to believe. And it's not, even if it were happening, I think it raises question more to the institutions that are doing it as a cover up for good grades, as opposed to Front Page Africa. But like Dr. Peabody said, I think it's a kid's kind of is elementary argument. To even assert that the former administration were calling down complimentary electricity, for which reason they were giving all of these great grades. Okay, so forget Ron next year. What are you doing? What have you done? And let's set the record straight. I know my big brother, former Minister of Youth and Sports, he has been trying to be objective and he doesn't feel good about the fact that they didn't do as much as they could have done, and I concur with them. I think as folks who come from the national team background and sports background, I think they could have done more. But I think he's overextended himself here. But to be honest with you, the kind of pressure that the former Minister of Youth and Sport was under, especially when that stadium got banned by CAF, and the kind of noise that was created then, given the fact that George Weah was former captain of the nation, I have not seen the kind of pressure on with this ambassador. And the kind of work that they had to put in within a short period of 2 years, invested $3-point-something million. You can express all day that they could have done more, which I agree. But I have not seen the kind of pressure that under this administration. And by the way, everything they've done, yes, they got the lights for the stadium. They've painted the stadium, but it does not even compare to what pressure that Zoga Wilson went through. They inherited SKD and a youth and sports much better than what Zoga Wilson inherited from the Unity Party. And they were there for 12 years. This is the reality. And some of my own friends that are close to this president today, they will privately admit to this kind of stuff. So if From West Africa is giving you a F because you refuse to give him complimentary internet, right? Who else is giving you a F objectively? So it's one thing if From West Africa was just saying, you know what, I don't like this guy because he's not doing what we're asking him to do. What other reputable institution is giving you an F based on what you've done over the period of 2 years? What have they done? And I'm speaking like this. My friend is the Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports. My guy that I consider my brother. He knows conversation we have behind closed doors. So I think listen, I think Joseph Boakai made a mistake. I don't understand. If you talk about youth and sports, I need someone who has a background on youth and sports. You know what I mean? Like, I think this was another misplaced appointment. But to make this whole excuse that, you know, From West Africa is giving this excuse because, you know, they're not conforming to complimentary, you know, I think
they tried to deprive the woman of her business since they took over. They have linked her consistently to CDC. Oh, she's CDC woman. She's CDC. They have linked her consistently,
and they have refused. And some of them have even threatened some of the folks who work at the ministry.
Yes, not to go there.
They're having drink because I've been there. When I invited a couple of my buddies there, they said, "Oh man, can we go somewhere else?" I said, but I just want to relax because the traffic is right now. I can't drive in this traffic. They won't even come there. This is so sad. Can you imagine your boss telling you can't go to certain locations because they don't agree with the person who owns it?
Yeah. You see, they have deprived this woman. Stop employees and others from going there to eat. I mean, and I was just there. I asked the lady, how you, Sis Cuddy, how you doing? She said, we just here. Someday.
Where's the restaurant?
Right to
it's by the stadium.
Yes.
What's the name of it?
It's called Cadiz Restaurant.
Cadiz Restaurant. Guys, if you are my friend and you in the Monrovia area, visit Cadiz Restaurant and make the devil shame. You know, we can't put people out of business. That woman may be hired. She may maybe hire 10 or 15 people on her payroll. Even if she had one person on her payroll, that one less person that depends on government. We have to make sure the more, the better. Okay? The person is not relying on you. They're not taking anything from your pocket. So why would they benefit you if you put them out of business? You are putting Liberian people out of work. Guys, we have run out of time. Mr. Garguah, your closing, your parting comment.
Always a great show. Always a great show. And I know sometimes it kind of gets frustrating when we have to talk about the same things over and over. And the people who are actually going through those things don't seem to care about it. When I watched the Unity Party clean December 6th, and I saw all those people, I saw a lot of hungry people.
Of course.
I saw a lot of jobless people. I saw a lot of people that went home with no hope of financial sustainability, with no hope of securing their children's college tuition, with no hope of a decent retirement. I saw Joseph Boakai dance, all of this argument about, Puka dancer, and they had the nerves to play the Puka dancer song, but they were dancing. People, they said that George, we are dancing at these rallies were indicative of a serious government, a government that didn't know what they were doing other than just dancing and singing and making music. But I mean, you saw the speaker, the third most important man in the country. Richard Coon, Richard Coon just looked like a dog. Richard Coon sounds like a dog.
Yeah, but he got that. The man got that as a dog.
But apart from that, he just looked like a zogo. You know how sometimes when you're poor and they put you in certain spaces and you wear a nice suit and nice tie, it changes your appearance to make you look decent, even if you're stupid. Richard Coon is not that kind of guy. He just looked, regardless of his status, he just looked like some illiterate, bad.
That just, in the power.
Yeah, he speaks like, and then when I heard him talk about threatening the journalists, with an open mic, it just solidified my thought process of him, But you saw him dancing at the December 6th event. They were dancing. So I kind of thought for a second, I thought this guy had something against dance. When you're in public spaces, you don't dance. You focus on policies, right? The Chester judge we are for dancing. But these guys were dancing, and I thought to myself, wow, I hope the
man still dancing for how he took over. That
was but apart from that,
he can't believe himself. The man can't believe himself.
The men were dancing, and you know what? And I gotta say this in my closing. I try not to mention my sister, even though these days since CDC won, and I never believed this will happen. Mandela Cooper is my good friend, but since CDC won, this is Mandela Cooper. I'll go to Liberia and meet her. We'll have a meeting. She'll say, "Hey, Rob, I can enjoy how you're dealing with these people. This is what CDC were in government. We'll talk. Hey, Rob, man, come to Liberia and all that stuff." Since CDC won, this is a woman that I supported, and I still think she's one of the most intelligent people in women that should be given an opportunity in public space. You will be surprised that I've sent Mandela Cooper a message one time. No response whatsoever, and she using languages like honey, referring to Richard Coon. Why would you professionally refer to?
But the speaker of the thing, now, brother, you don't know this.
Man, I don't want to talk that kind of thing over national radio. But why would you refer to the speaker? I will see you there, honey. I will see you there, honey. Why would you do that kind of thing? Why would you do that kind of thing? But the speaker is dancing. He just so happened. I'm like, wow. I hope the former speaker is watching this, because I heard what he said about the president. He said that the president don't care about the people. This is what I expected for Nati Kofa to be talking when he was speaker. Rather than trying to be all diplomatic and having good grace with the president and doing all of that stuff, the president. But they're dancing today. No one is saying Buka dancer. When the president dance and trying to relate to the people, they say, oh, he's a Buka dancer. But today they are dancing. But Mr. Jerome, your tie look nice, your suit look nice, Dr. Peabody, your glasses look nice. I'm in my home, I'm drinking. My wife is at the gym. I'm about to eat
already now.
Food done already.
Okay, you don't want to eat too late.
I'm getting ready for my birthday coming up next month. I'm saying this to say to the Liberian people, the people that gather at Unity Party headquarters. Unity Party can build 15 or 16 headquarters in Liberia. How does that improve the livelihood? We can sit on this platform and talk all day, but my brother, when we come to Liberia, we can eat the best palm butter that there is. We can eat the best cassava leaf there is. We can eat the best palava sauce there is without a talking city Unity Party. What about you? What about you? Are you satisfied with your life right now? Are you satisfied with your life? And so the people got to think, Mr. Jerome, they got to think about themselves. And if you're not satisfied with your life, this is not about CDC. Come 2029, make a decision about your own livelihood. Put yourself first and put your country first for a second. Great show always.
Thank you. Doc, take us home. Oh, let me make a quick announcement, guys. You'll help us out with a contribution even when we are off the air. Our Cash App is still working. Send the money. Don't forget.
You know what, Mr. Gayman, before you go, there are no support here who have continuously contributed, like Trokon Bayou. Trokon Bayou, we're waiting for your gift. Nora Hope, we're waiting for your gift. Patience Sema, we're waiting for your gift as well. So these are our habitual supporters.
Don't leave.
Let me. I know you want me to say.
Don't leave. Tell me out.
Don't leave, Jean. I think this person have donated $400, man. What's the name? Jean Mabaro?
Oh yes.
You want to say it?
No, say it.
But it seems like she just keeps sending $100 every other week. She sent $100
every other day. Tell me, send your money, all that money.
Let me send your contribution.
All that money you make, you send.
But Terry, it look like Terry on a whole different mission. I don't know if Terry's single or she's not single, but every time I see Terry, she in the gym and she looking cute. She posting this and that and all.
Yeah, tell me 200 times.
You know what that means? She found new love. That's how it is.
I found love. You know, this song, what is something to say? Yeah,
that's right.
Huh? So guys, yeah, please donate, man. Just 25, 50, 100. We got to send something to those guys in Maria. The guy in the studio who are behind the studio all the time. Yeah, I'm not seeing some of them. We need to send them a gift as well, man. We encourage you to do so. We appreciate any amount you gave. Voluntary, any amount you give, we appreciate it. But we want to send the money by the 20. We want to do that. All right, Mr. Gibb.
Patient, thank you. She said we should ask for them to send us star too. So by sending stars, we can make money. Okay, that's fine. You see. So,
but the thing with the star, we can't get it. That's somebody. The money going somewhere. I don't know.
No, you have to set up. You have to set up your Facebook financials. How you think they shot a robber than making money like that?
But man, we are set up that thing. But I think the reason
we gotta get.
No. Tell me, we're not picking and choosing. Don't send your
money. No, tell me, I feel the same. No, but Myean. But listen though, y'all don't blame people. No. You see, because I got called. They say y'all keep saying the same money, but how y'all distributed money yet? Myean should get more money. I think Myean was an extra gift.
Listen. Myean is very active. Myean is very productive. Myean got small little hookup on the side. We set up. I'm telling you, Myean got so we want to make sure that all of them get something here. We don't want to.
Yeah, because Myean, I'm on a guard to the people.
Yeah, Myean on that too. I'm telling him every second.
Say something. If you're saying something we don't want to know, but you got to put something in the general part.
Yeah.
You want to say something on the side to Myean, we don't want to know.
Nora, start spending that money. Start spending that money like
Nora would do it. Nora is a great. Nora would do it. Patient would get her gift. These are our regular supporters. You know, we thank them.
Patient is afraid of Charlotte robbers. She said, "Don't let Charlotte robbers."
But patient, nobody can come for me. Nobody can come for my wife. That's because I don't see my wife. My wife, they're not small. Nobody can come for me, my sister. Leave that thing alone.
My man, I know why people get afraid of that. What's it?
I'll beg you,
I love my Charlotte robber.
But you saw the cops at our house the last time she was going, hey, I
didn't do that. Tomorrow, guys, Dr. Moniba is going to be here.
Yeah.
And on Thursday, we're going to talk about what do you guys make of the general for cussing, meeting the president, welcoming Prophet Key. I mean, what's wrong with those people that will lead our for Thursday?
No, we got a guy coming Thursday. We got Abdullah Kiatama.
Okay. Another firebrand will be here Thursday. So Friday, listen.
Yeah.
This week is going to be blistering. What is wrong with?
I mean, y'all don't bring Katama yet. If Katama come here, I'm gonna, Katama.
You go after it. You go after it, Robert.
The man unfollow me. For some reason, the man unfollow me on Facebook.
Y'all make it. The two of y'all make it on the show. I got nothing to do with that.
He block you?
If I get man, follow me.
But I get man will settle y'all dispute.
We'll set it up. Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for tuning in tomorrow. Dr. Moniba will be here Thursday. Alberto Kiatama. Friday.
I understand. One of Mr. Moniba's strongest supporter will want to come Mago.
No, she doesn't have no credibility now. Even myself will tell Moniba because I like the guy. I myself will tell him don't welcome him.
I am bringing the G's.
People I know you don't like. I like you.
Listen,
I myself will tell him don't welcome her back.
Grace Goa, I love you, Grace Goa. Come on back tomorrow. He will be here. We will put all that batting aside. Tomorrow,
wait, is she still welcome back on the closing argument?
I don't know.
Listen. Listen. You know, when the scripture say, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. Now that I have grown, listen, now back on me. Listen, the new year coming, we're putting all the bad thing behind us. We're starting fresh.
Yeah.
So if you want to come by, you come by, you apologize.
No, Jerome, we're not Unity Party, we're not CDC, where people can just go betray us, then we get welcome.
They come back. Yeah, they come out and say, oh, we forget it.
Not like that. No, Jerome. We got Tabia, we got Sarah, anyone else, we can't just welcome him. No. Did that way alone, Jerome. We can't do that kind of thing.
Oh, my people, I said,
and you also we don't speak Liberian English. We speak
people,
we get it raw Liberian English.
We're not letting them come back.
We're not letting them come back. No.
Basa people like keeping grush. You're like keeping grush.
No, Jerome. We set this standard here. We set this standard here.
They say we're not good people. So no, Jackie can come back if Jackie wants to come.
Jackie fine, but we Jerome, we gotta speak wrong. We gotta speak wrong like very English, yo. We set this standard, yo.
You hear they say Jackie fine. The other people ugly. When you know ugly, you can't come back here. They didn't find people.
Jackie Walker, she can come back. Other people there who are making noise whole day. With the money bar, then they leave from there and they go, they jump in.
You see Nora want to start trouble here. You see what she's doing? She said Jackie.
Come on, Jerome, we gotta reach the people. The people say we can't speak local language. We can't speak Bada, but we can speak like brain English.
But Nora said, Robert, Nora asking you whether Jackie got job now from Joseph.
Jackie now working for the Liberia diaspora thing. The thing they had the other day.
But Jackie says she's not taking deputy minister position.
She want minister proper.
But you know what? Jackie that fire burn. Jackie can roll.
But why she didn't take the office of the diaspora?
Listen, she on that committee. She
under the water now. She under the water. She know what it is.
I don't know about the same. I'm gonna give it the people like jealousy because I don't see why Jackie have strived. Jackie worked. Jackie for this government. They didn't even give her
But you're saying Jackie, Jerome. I went to DC and as soon as I entered the club, I was so excited. Everybody, Jackie confused me. I thought that was Peabody's wife. And it wasn't until I was on the plane back to Atlanta I realized, oh, that was Jackie. But Peabody introduced me to Jackie, and Jackie added that she didn't know me. That very Jackie, this was my first time meeting her in person. But it's very Jackie and I spoke on the phone.
You have to let me Atlanta.
Yeah, but she added that she didn't know me. I said, oh, wow. I said, maybe Jackie vest with me.
Jackie, my sister. I thought my sister.
Yeah,
Jackie.
they were in the section hanging out. I said, is that Peabody wife? Yeah, they woman on the Peabody wife.
Listen, I got Robert. I got to cut you off because you want to put Dr. Peabody in trouble. You say what happened in Atlanta?
What news?
No, why watching on DC?
Why watching on DC?
Oh, in DC. Listen, what happened in DC? Stay in DC. You're not bringing it out here.
Good thing happened there. That's all. Good thing. We gotta share the good thing where it happened. Well, just everybody was chilling at the table, just enjoying. Yeah.
Well, guys, we gotta go. When you're in the DC area, there's something they call a high table. Is that what they call the place?
The high table. Maka. Assistant Maka. You know, we gotta call Maka. Maka always contributing to the Christmas gift. We gotta call her too.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, good night.
Same time.
All right, guys. You have a good night. Thank you for joining us, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Good night.
See you.